Yo, what's up, Tom Ross? What's good with you, brother?
What's up, man? What's up, man? We back again. Time to separate the wheat from the strong, man. And it's time to put the foot on the next. You know what I mean? I know that's your catchphrase, but hey, man, like you said, you right, I'm Ken, so some things are interchangeable.
Exactly. It's actually befitting that you said that because we definitely need to separate the weak from the strong, and we definitely need to put it out there that there's a stigma out there that's just crazy. And I really want to delve into this Spence and Crawford nonsense because the first element of it is the fact that Terence Crawford went from, okay, I want the whole Omaha, Nebraska to be at the event, to
Right.
then the second variation is, um, yeah, I don't want net, I want gross. I mean, how can you be a Negro that's missing a few fucking screws that doesn't understand that you will be taxed, you will have to pay FICA, you will have to pay Social Security, you will have to pay Medicare.
Right.
So,
Fuck
and
it.
then on top of
Give it
that, you
all
got
to
to pay
him.
Uncle Sam.
Right. Fuck it. Give it all to him and let him go to jail for not doing his taxes. Fuck it.
Exactly. Also, basically become Wesley Snipes all over again.
Right. He's dumb as fuck, man.
And
Like,
that's why I told you, man, nothing out of Omaha, Nebraska, except for the late great Malcolm X, and except for Warren Buffett is good, man. You got a
oh
bunch of
yeah,
Negroes.
Malcolm X is from Nebraska.
He is from Nebraska, and that's the greatest thing that ever came out of Nebraska. As a matter of fact, he's the only limelight out of Nebraska. You
And
know,
you know why that is? He left at an early age and grew up in Detroit.
exactly. So
So,
his mind was
right,
able to evolve past that
right,
bullshit.
right. Well, he got out of there early, man. You see how well spoken he is, how he read and shit.
Exactly.
Ain't no way in hell he came with Nebraska that whole time.
Not a Negro that's missing a few fucking screws. Now all of a sudden you're talking about you need to see proof of income. So hold up, when Bob Arum, your former promoter, was doing Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, did he ask Al Heyman, let me see proof of income? When Wilder and Fury happened, your former promoter, this is a guy who would have been the main person asking for proof of income. When that happened, did he ask for proof of income? Did Bob Arum complain after the fact? Did the checks bounce? And you, who's never been a promoter, let alone never ran your own career, now you're asking for proof of income? Come on, man. This
Hold
is
on,
ducking and stalling 101.
101. And you making those points just brought up a point to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did not Manny Pacquiao get hit with tax evasion because Bob Errol wasn't paying no tax for him? He thought he was. Didn't Terence Crawford get hit with tax evasion?
Good one.
And didn't he not go to Bob Errol asking for a loan and Bob didn't give it to him?
Mm-hmm. That's why that's why that dumbass Negro missing a few screws is asking for gross and not net. Because what Terence Crawford is revealing is that he is basically financially irresponsible. He doesn't pay his fucking taxes.
Man, I just wish I was Al Heyman would just speak for one time and say, man, you know what? If you want gross, I'll give you gross. I was trying to do you a service because the last time you fought, you got hit with tax evasion. But if you want to pay your own taxes, fine by me. Here you go. Just notice, I got a whole catalog of fighters, and
Mm-hmm.
none of them have never said what you're saying. So that's
Exactly.
interesting. That's interesting. I just wanted to speak for one time, man.
Mm-hmm. The
Or at least
Charlos have never said anything. Tank has never said anything. Spence has never said anything. Even Adrian Broner, who really his hatred and
the Floyd.
trollism is because of the fact that he wasted away his career, has nothing to do with PBC, and they still found a way to still make him make more money than Terence Crawford, even in his fucked up state. He's making more money than Terence Crawford, and
Yep.
his checks have never bounced. So if none of these
Ain't
people's
never
checks
gone.
have bounced, why is Terence Crawford asking for proof of income? And then this is not the dumbest part. The dumbest part is you actually have people, you could tell these people, I don't know where they come from. I don't know what hole they crawled out of. I just don't know what crevice of Omaha, Nebraska these people are from, but they're asking the same dumbass question that Terence Crawford is asking. And they're making themselves seems like they're legitimate platforms doing this. This is the funniest and the dumbest thing ever. If you notice, Errol Spence is quiet. He hasn't said nothing. Al Heyman is quiet. And to be honest with you, he's never going to speak because the second that Al Heyman speaks, he loses that mystique. That's what makes him so powerful. It's his silence. I don't know nobody that's as powerful and as silent as the guy is. I mean, we've watched, The Godfather. We've watched all of these mafia boss type movies. You even see it in a lot of these mafioso or mafia boss type shows. The man who is the man behind the man is usually the guy you don't see, the guy you can't touch, and the guy that's not saying anything. Al Heyman is not going to sit here and come out publicly to defend Terence Crawford's stupidity. He's not going to come out publicly to talk against a guy who's missing a few brain cells. He's going to let him, basically, he's going to Phil Jackson him. He's going to let him look like he's missing the brain cells that he's missing, the few screws that he's missing, because this guy sounds very stupid. How dumb can you be asking for growth when you know taxes come around? Everyone has to pay taxes, man. There are three things that are certain in life: death, using the bathroom, and paying your taxes. Those are inevitable. You have to do these things, and these things are going to happen. You can't run away from it, because if you try to, in case of using the bathroom, your system's going to go against itself. Taxes, the tax man's going to find you. And death, I've never seen anyone run away from death. Death finds everybody. So what the hell is Terence Crawford talking about? And then you got platforms that are sitting here eating this thing up, not holding this guy accountable. Why aren't they asking the other type of questions? Why is Spence quiet? Why hasn't Spence said anything? Why is PBC and Al Heyman quiet? There's a reason. Their quietness is actually speaking louder than words. Right. It's letting you know that there is something going on Terence Crawford's side. The roadblock was supposedly Top Rank. The roadblock was supposedly Bob Arum. Those guys are no longer there anymore. So what the hell is the holdup? You saw how Spence punished Dennis Ugas. You saw Dennis Ugas's eye. You saw how Dennis Ugas looked. Then you saw Spence immediately called you out and told you, I want that strap. And then after that, on IG, he put a shark skin variation of himself with his shark skin weapon down your door, knocking your door, saying you are next. And ever since then, you've been showcasing nervous energy. You've been afraid. You've been petrified. You've been scared. So let's call a spade here, man. Terence Crawford needs as much money as possible to fund his medical bills. That's what it is, because he knows he's going to get fucked up, man.
That's the thing. Hey, you're on a road there. But listen, the problem is Bud fans don't want him to fight Spence either, but they're acting like they do. They really don't. They would rather him stay undefeated than for him to fight Errol Spence to lose, and I'll tell you why. All of the so-called on the fence people, all of the so-called Spence fans that are low-key really Bud fans, they're saying this fight ain't gonna happen. So they're already trying to get him to fight somebody else. If you are a lover of boxing, you're not suggesting another fight.
Exactly.
You're saying this fight needs to happen. You're not saying, you know what, this fight ain't gonna happen. So, Bud, why don't you go ahead and fight Keith Thurman? What do Keith Thurman got for Bud? It's too late now. Now it's time to get the y'all said boxing need an undisputed champion at 147, and now that it's coming to fruition, now everybody talking about, well, that fight. Since when have we been so impatient with a fight of this magnitude?
Yep.
Since when have we been so impatient? Well,
yep.
I guess it ain't gonna happen. On to the next. Since when? Yeah, it's these motherfuckers be having certain people that they grow an affinity for and don't realize there's no affinity in boxing.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck. And my favorite fighter finna fight somebody who you probably shouldn't be in there with. If it's a good fight and it's good for boxing, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna make any excuses for him because it's like if Floyd came back and fought Errol Spence and lost. Even though I know he's older, I still want to make an excuse for him. You want to know why? You and me both know Errol's in his prime. You're not. You just ain't basketball, man.
Exactly.
You could get in there and get hurt by somebody that you probably could have beat in your prime, but you not in your prime. You should not get your ass in there. I didn't feel sorry.
Exactly.
I didn't feel sorry for Manny Pacquiao. It would hurt me more to see it, but I won't be like, man, I wouldn't be making no excuses for him because he shouldn't come out of retirement. You are Floyd Mayweather. You have accomplished way too much. Now I'll say the same thing for Errol Spence. I want to see Errol Spence doing no Jordan says Bishop, thanks, bro. I don't want to see Errol Spence doing no Roy Jones Jr. shit. Once you dominate 160, I guess you could, if you want to go up to 175 and do some shit, but you don't got to. Once you dominate 154 and 160, call it a quits.
Mm-hmm.
It's over with. You ain't got nothing else to prove. Call it quits. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got shit else to prove. And if you go undisputed in 147 and 154, you ain't got nothing else to prove because nobody at this level has done that.
Exactly. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I can hear you. You know what I'm saying? So
because the thing is and I keep telling people this, and they're not listening, and they're not paying attention, and they're not catching it. Terence Crawford has nervous energy. It's very clear. And as this fight looms more and more, nervous energy. Why did you show up to the Hall of Fame? You showed up there because you wanted to showcase your C- to D+ resume. Nobody cares about that.
Right.
When you keep putting that up, that doesn't fly when it comes to Errol Spence. Errol Spence wants you in the ring. He wants that bell to ring so he can start punishing you. Man, I was listening to Chris Van Heeteren talk about Errol Spence don't throw 100% punching damage at you. He throws 80%, but it's a consistent 80%. So basically, he gives you the 80-20 rule. And he says the jab he throws at you, it's not a jab, it's a jab. I mean, he exaggerated the thing to the 15th power.
Right.
Because he said, man, every punch this guy was hitting me with, I was like, damn, is this guy trying to rip my head off? Is this guy trying to dismantle me? And he said, by the time round 6 hits, you realize your legs become heavy, your legs feel like jelly, and that's it. The fight is over and it's done with. And this is what Terence Crawford needs to understand. He's going to have to deal with those hands of stone. They want to sit here and call Roberto Duran the hands of stone. No, Errol Spence is the hands of stone. Because Danny Garcia alluded to it when Danny Garcia said, man, Spence is not the most powerful one-punch hitter, but he is the physically strongest fighter that I've ever fought. He's just sturdy, and he walks you down. And when he hits you with punches, you feel every bit of those punches. Terence Crawford's never been in the ring with somebody like that, man.
It's gonna be brutal, man.
It's gonna be brutal.
It's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be akin to the lopsidedness of Floyd Pacquiao, but Floyd Pacquiao was a cerebral, embarrassing. How dare you ever think he was on my level? This is gonna be a brutal, Braveheart type, gladiator type, like demolishing. To where they're gonna have to get in that bitch. They might have to carry Bud out of there, man.
Yep.
Don't be surprised. They gotta carry Bud ass out of there, man.
Yep.
Hey, Jordan says Bishop, thanks, man. Donate to motivate. Like I said before, you know what I'm saying? We know you guys work hard for your monies, and that's why we're trying to work hard and give you guys these lives. But every little bit helps because we got to sacrifice our personal time to knock this out. Appreciate it, y'all.
Yep. Donate to motivate, man. You come in here, donate to motivate. But yeah, man, just touching back on this, and this is embarrassing. There's always news coming out. There's always pandering narratives coming out, and it's from Bud Man fans. It's from fake as fuck Errol Spence fans, a term that I've coined from day one. It's coming from people that believe in this 50-50 ideology. I don't know how many times I have to say this, and I will say it again. There's no such thing as 50-50, man. In life, there are winners, and in life, there are losers. Nobody's created on the same level. Nobody's created to be the same. No one is created to have the same dichotomy. There's always going to be somebody better. There's always going to be somebody stronger. There's always going to be somebody faster. There's
Mhm.
always going to be somebody bolder. There's always going to be somebody smarter. That's just the way life works. So you could sit here and say this 50-50 nonsense all you want. But if you look at the breakdown of it, you listen to the common opponents. Kell Brook said Errol Spence is the bigger, stronger fighter. Sean Porter, even though he keeps being what I would say delusional, or he's showcasing delusions of grandeur and wants to always allude to, well, Keith Thurman was more powerful in all of this, or, well, Terence Crawford has skills, but he keeps telling you every truth in between. Well, Spence was the stronger fighter when I fought him. So which one is it? Because we know what the truth is. We know the damage you took. We know how you looked when you fought your tune-up fight after Spence. We know how you looked when you fought Terence Crawford. You still didn't even recover from the bloated trauma. We saw how basically loaded with inflammation you look like. It looked like you needed to basically take a whole jar of turmeric, man. You
Yeah.
was on Max Kellerman Live. Your face, your whole body was swelled the fuck up. You could tell you was beat down to a bloody pulp. So don't
Yeah.
sit here and try to tell me that in that fight, I gave Spence more than Spence can handle. If that was the case, why did you look so washed against a tune-up fight right after the Spence fight? That's a tune-up fight.
Right. He was in there struggling.
Exactly. Thank you, James Dag. Don't give percentages because you give a percentage of yourself. I appreciate those that remember that He Knows Everything sayings, formerly known as He Knows the Sports sayings, man. Because when you 50-50, you giving 50% of yourself, man. And people don't understand. A 50-50 individual is an inferior individual, is a weak-minded individual. That means you don't stand on nothing. The weakest thing you could do as a man is not stand on anything, not
Yeah.
have a position. Good, bad, or the ugly. There was a movie that Clint Eastwood made way back in the days. It was called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. They even made a cartoon of it. For the good, bad, or ugly, make a decision. Lay on that bad boy. Double down on it with confidence and fortitude. I've preached and teach this to you guys from day one. Be men and women with confidence, fortitude, and an abundance mindset. Regardless if the situation is good or bad, make the fucking decision. Don't
Yeah.
sit here and say, well, I'm on one side of the aisle and then I'm on another side out. You can't call yourself a Spence fan if you're sitting here saying it's 50-50. If you're a Spence fan, you're supposed to say Spence all the way.
And then here's another aspect of that, right? Because a lot of those people are talking about the fight deserves to be split 50-50. But
Mm-hmm.
the pretense that they're using to say it deserves to be 50-50, they're saying because they're equally skilled. First of all, I don't believe they're equally skilled, but skill has nothing to do with if a fight should be 50-50 or not. And it's
Mm-hmm.
sad that these motherfuckers watch boxing all the time that they don't know skills that got nothing to do with fight being 50-50. It don't matter who
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Mayweather fight, he gonna be the A side. It don't
Yep.
matter if Mike Tyson come back right now and fight somebody at heavyweight, he gonna be the A side. It don't matter who he
Yep.
fight. It's all about who people coming to see.
Well, see,
That's
now I'm gonna give your saying credit. This is where you separate the weak from the damn strong, because from day one, you're gonna know as this fight draws closer and it looms. You're gonna know who's the real Spence fans, and you're gonna know who's the real Terence Crawford fans. I told you guys, I don't have nothing personally against Terence Crawford. I don't have nothing personally against Bud Man fans. I have nothing personally against them. I don't even fucking know them. Other than the fact that they from Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, who the fuck wants to be from Omaha, Nebraska?
yeah.
I would think that's the most boringest place to grow up and be in. I mean, it is what it is. If you're gonna feel some type of way, I've had people wanting to fight me if they ever meet me on the street because I said they're from fucking Omaha, Nebraska. I'm sorry. It sounds like a very boring ass place. Me coming from Miami, if I went to Omaha, Nebraska, I don't know if I would survive 3 fucking days. That's just me. I'm just
Mhm.
speaking it and telling the truth. It looks boring, especially when Bud was out there in the cookout and doing his thing with, his Versace shirt and just basically being a neighbor. It looked boring, man. It looked like a boring place. But that's just me saying that. But outside of that, me saying that it's a boring place, I have nothing against him. And to be honest with you, genuine Bud Man fans that have said Terence Crawford from day one, I actually respect them. But what I don't respect is guys that are supposedly Errol Spence fans and they saying, I don't know. No, you supposed to fucking know. You separating the weak from the strong. If you a Spence fan, you supposed to say Spence gonna bulldoze that nigga, man. Cause that's the mantra, bulldozing niggas fashion. Like you supposed to be definitive about that shit. You're not supposed to be sitting there cowering. Well, I don't know, Bud got this. And fuck that bullshit. It's just like Spence team said the other day. No partners, no sister, no cookouts, no Omaha Nebraskans, no Bud Man fans is gonna save you from this ass whooping. When that bell ring, you getting fucking punished. And the more you keep talking, the more you getting punished. That's how Spence fans sound.
I'll see if Bud was really Spence equal and you really didn't know they really both fought the same type of competition. But it's obvious who's gonna win this fight. So how is it 50-50?
Beyond obvious.
You know what I'm saying? Because me, like say if I thought he was fighting his equal, I'll be like, man, I'm going for Bud. I was speaking from my own point of view. I'm going for Spence, but I gotta admit that other motherfucker, bad motherfucker. I'll say that, but I'll say who I'm going for. But I gotta admit that other motherfucker, bad motherfucker. But this is Terence Crawford we talking about, man. That we have to be honest with ourselves. Terence Crawford looked good in those fights because his level of competition.
Exactly.
Even in those fights, he did not look good enough to be mentioned in the same breath as Errol Spence.
Exactly.
He just did it.
And when Errol Spence said
Terence Crawford is Tony Romo. Terence Crawford is Tony Romo, man.
Perfect comparison.
Errol Spence is fucking Tom. I'll say Errol Spence is Peyton Manning. Errol Spence is Peyton Manning. Fucking what Bud is fucking Tony Romo, man. Ain't had to accomplish shit. No, that matter.
You know what? I hear you with that, but you know, I have my issues with Peyton Manning. I would say Errol Spence is Tom Brady, dog.
The reason why I didn't say that because Floyd's Tom Brady.
Okay. If you want to go that route, okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I say that. But Peyton Manning is code his own right. 5 MVPs, you know what I'm saying, championships.
Okay.
He's there. And a lot of people say he's better than Tom Brady as far as the position is concerned. Not being a better winner. Some people just say, to me, that's preference. To me, as long as the quarterback is winning, they're doing their job. But you know, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm trying to say. The real point of this shit is these guys not on the same level. You know, I can't say he's a hell of a boxer because who has he proven that on?
Exactly. Who's his competition? Who's his competition? This is the problem with boxing fans. They're not going off of competition. I've already dissected this. For you to be a hell of a boxer, the reason why we say Floyd is a hell of a boxer is because he was in the ring with Miguel Cotto, the real Miguel Cotto. The reason why we say Floyd is a hell of a boxer is because he made Manny Pacquiao look ordinary. The reason why we say Floyd is a hell of a boxer, he was in the ring with a 23-year-old Canelo Alvarez, and he made him look bad. The reason why we say Floyd Mayweather is a hell of a boxer is because he basically second half and made Zab Judah stalled and embarrassed him in the second half of the fight. The reason why we say Floyd Mayweather is a hell of a boxer is because Floyd Mayweather bounced back in the Shane Mosley fight and then just right hand lead sandwiched him so disrespectfully the rest of the damn fight. So you are a hell of a boxer based on your competition. The reason why we say Floyd Mayweather is a hell of a boxer is because the fact that Diego Corrales was such a monster and Floyd was the monster in that fight. The reason why we say Floyd is a hell of a boxer is because of the Arturo Gatti beatdown, the brain damage that Arturo Gatti. Floyd broke his hands. That was the fight where he broke his hands. His hands became brittle after that fight because he gave this guy so much of a beating. The reason why we say Floyd is a hell of a fighter is because of what he did to Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton was undefeated. So who has Terence Crawford had in his resume for you to call him a hell of a boxer? To call somebody a hell of a boxer, they have to have a resume. The reason why we say Andre Ward is a hell of a boxer is because of what he did in the Super fucking Six.
Right, and when he did a Kovalev.
And what he did to Kovalev. The reason why we say Earl Spence is a hell of a boxer is because of what he did to Kell Brook, your Dennis Ugas. I'm just mentioning 2 out of so many other opponents, but those were undisputed fights at welterweight times 2. So don't sit here and say that Terence Crawford is a hell of a boxer when he has Victor Postal on his fucking resume. Please. Raymundo Beltran. Who the fuck are these people? Juan Molina. These are tomato cans.
These guys are supposed to be easy where he's supposed to walk right through them and build that buzz like Pacquiao did.
Exactly.
He's struggling with them. Well, that's the thing you got to get to Pacquiao. When they put Pacquiao in there with niggas like that, Pacquiao got their ass out of there, boy.
Exactly.
I'm talking about beat the hell out of them.
Exactly. Don't tell me Hank Lundy is you a hell of a boxer because you fought Hank Lundy. Please don't tell me that. Then y'all, now I'm gonna have to start questioning y'all boxing resume because this is what I go off of resume. He fought Jose Benavidez after a motorcycle. Do you guys understand what Bob Arum did? Bob Arum purposefully put Terence Crawford in positions where Terence Crawford could fight people that were at a handicap in his favor. So does that make him a hell of a boxer, or does that make him the Black Canelo Alvarez? Oh, y'all didn't catch what I just said.
What? Go ahead and rewind it.
Does that make him a hell of a boxer, or does that make him the Black Canelo Alvarez? That he is fighting guys that he is way better than, that guys that are supposedly handicaps. That doesn't make him a hell of a boxer. What that makes him is the Black Mikey Garcia. Because that's what they did with Mikey Garcia. They put him in positions where Mikey Garcia could fight guys at a right time. Because that's what Mikey Garcia did. When he fought Adrian Broder, he fought him at a right fucking time. When he fought Robert Easter, it was the right fucking time. So please, do not sit here and disrespect your own boxing knowledge and say that Terence Crawford is a hell of a boxer. What it's basically telling me is that you're listening to too many chung YouTubers and guys that don't even know what the fuck they talking about. And this is what we talked about in the last live when we said all of these guys are opera singers, yeah, and then going somewhere else, yeah, listening to all of these fucktards, right? That's telling them this and telling them that, and then turning around, believing all that bullshit, and then coming to, and that's why people come to this 50-50 nonsense. Because in their mind is not even settled on what is real and what isn't, even though they know what's real is presented in front of them.
The reason why they feel obliged to say something positive about Bud is because they're led by the media.
Yep.
If they're just being honest, what's up, man? If they're just being honest and they're comparing the actual competition, you know you can't say something as a man that you can't quantify.
Yep.
You can't say I'm the best worker. I'm the best worker in my job. Okay, where's the proof? Where's the evaluations? Where's the awards? Where's the Employee of the Month awards? You know what I'm saying? How much money did you save your company? You can't just say that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And your boss can't just say that. When he writes you up for an award, he got to quantify why he give you that award.
Mm-hmm.
Like in faithful service of his duties, did blase for X amount of blase. It gotta be. You can't just say somebody good because I think they good. Who has he looked to say he good at welterweight?
And even if there's not the awards or the accolades, you have people like us, and you have a bunch of people word of mouth that said, from what I've witnessed, from what I've saw, from what I see, what the eye test says. You know, it's like Kobe Bryant, right? They go off of this bullshit accolades with LeBron James, but guys that are in there defending Kobe versus LeBron, guys that are in there playing against Kobe and LeBron, the eye test doesn't lie. You see the way Kobe intimidates them. I mean, I heard Damian Lillard said, man, I ain't afraid of no basketball player. But when it was Kobe, I was like, man, shit, it's Kobe.
Yeah. Well,
see, this is what people don't understand. There's levels to this shit. There's gears. Terence Crawford has never been in a ring with a guy sturdy like Errol Spence. He's never been in a ring with a guy as mobile as Errol Spence. He's never been in a ring with a guy who has the versatility, the durability, and the authenticity and consistency of a fucking shark skin like Errol Spence. This motherfucker's getting folded like a pretzel, man. When you really put and boil this fight down, you're seeing a guy who has dominated his opponents. I don't know who it was I listened to on one of these YouTube channels. Shout outs to this guy named YSM or whatever. He covers like fighters and trainers and all that. But this guy said he went and looked at the last 16 knockouts between, you guys can put his name in the comment. I don't know his fucking name. You know, I don't pay attention to people's name. I just listen to the substance and the sustenance of what they say. And he said out of the 16 knockouts that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford has had, in those 16 knockouts, Errol Spence has finished 9 out of 16. Let's do fractions here. Right. Terence Crawford has finished 5 out of 16 of his opponents via mangling punishment, afterwards damage. And he said, based on that, and the reason why that's important is because those 9 out of 16 were guys that were bigger than Errol Spence in size. The 5 out of 16 was guys that was bigger than Terence Crawford. And he said, out of those 9 out of 16, 8 out of 9 of those guys have been sustaining punishment even till now. Whereas with Terence Crawford, those guys, it's only been 5 out of 16. Right. So that is a telltale in of itself. I don't know what you guys are not paying attention to here. One guy is systematically breaking down his opponents. One guy is sitting here and demolishing his opponents. The other guy is winning fights, and these opponents, they go and fight somebody the next day like they didn't even break a sweat fighting Terence Crawford. Do you guys know how many fights Gamboa has had against quality opponents after he fought Terence Crawford? If Terence Crawford really did something to Gamboa, why was Gamboa able to fight Gervonta Tank Davis of all people, that heavy-handed dude? He shouldn't have been fighting Gervonta Tank Davis after the fact. Why did he fight Devin Haney even? Come on, don't even get me started, man. This tells you that Terence Crawford, his level of supposedly stopping opponents, it's a farce. It's a fallacy, man.
The reason why I don't, the reason why I have taken away, well, I never really gave him credit, but the reason why I'm indifferent, I'm apathetic to Bud Crawford is because when he was in the lower weight class, he's moving up the lower weight classes, right? He got undisputed, right? But what champions did he fight and take their belts? They were mainly vacant belts.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like he like I don't have no respect for Canelo's undisputed.
Yep.
He got Benavidez' belt. It didn't even have to fight Benavidez. He fought another nigga for 2 belts at the same time.
Yep.
He fought a nigga for 1 belt, and they just gave him another belt. They ain't really undisputed. And you're the franchise champion. How you undisputed? You don't even got the WBC belt. Jamal Charlo got the WBC belt. So how you undisputed?
Exactly.
That's not real undisputed. So, me think about this. I'm for my people, but my standards are my standards. I don't minimize my standards because a nigga got the same color as me.
Exactly.
My standards. Who you beat? And then, if he wanted his undisputed to mean something at 140, he's supposed to come to 147 and do damage, and do battle, man. Mm-hmm. He came to 147. That everybody that was a real fighter at 147 after Spence had already damaged their career.
Yep.
Come on, man.
There's too many eyewitnesses. There's too many testimonials, man. There's too many fighters. This is why Spence is a hell of a boxer. And people just always want to say Spence is a puncher. Well, when you're beating people and you're constantly beating them in different ways, you're beating them with their own style, you're beating them down in versatile ways, that means you are a hell of a boxer. It's called boxing, not punching.
The problem is,
so it's disrespectful when people don't want to give Errol Spence the nod of saying that he's a pedigree boxer.
The thing about it is there's too many casual fans of boxing. They watch boxing all the time, yet they don't know what the fuck they're watching.
Exactly.
They think anytime you're moving forward, you're not boxing, you're being aggressive, you're a puncher. Anytime you're moving backwards, people think you're boxing. There's people who move backwards all the time that can't fucking box, just get beat up.
Yep.
Moving forward don't make you a puncher or a boxer. It's what you're doing as you move forward that makes you a boxer. Are you moving forward? Are you slipping? Believe it or not, Mike Tyson in his prime was a boxer. He don't get credit for boxing. He was knocking niggas on their ass. But Mike Tyson was a boxer, slipping punches.
Yep.
Going to the body, coming up to the head, slipping punches, uppercut, Boom,
Yep.
move you around
Yep.
with his forearms.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Mike Tyson was a hell of a boxer.
Yep.
You could move. Floyd, when he was young, he moved forward. Marvin Hagler always moved forward when he fight. I mean, you tell me he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't no boxer. All because some guys are moving forward don't mean they just punchers.
Yep. And fight fans don't want to accept the fact. They always want to say Hagler and Leonard. No, the Bud is not nice like that. Bud is not that good. This shit is Hagler versus Hearns. If you really are and a lot of people's boxing knowledge, a lot of people's boxing brains have been exposed as bullshit, man. It's been exposed as peon brainism. Because when you really dissect this, it is Hagler and Hearns. Hearns, it was the same buildup. Oh, he's gonna outbox Hagler. The same shit, man. You guys have to go and do your homework. Oh, he has the reach advantage. Oh, he just has the better skills. The same bullshit they saying about Terence Crawford. It was the same shit they were saying about Tommy Hitman Hearns. And then they were undermining Hagler's boxing ability. Oh, he's not a boxer. He's a brawler. Oh, he just goes to the body. Oh, he just has basic fundamentals and skills. It's the same shit. And then Hagler goes in, outboxes Tommy Hitman Hearns and puts his ass on the fucking canvas and knocks his ass out in 5 rounds. So if you really are a student of the game, you know this is Hagler versus Hearns all over again. 2.0. One guy is basically being knocked off like he ain't shit, and the other guy is basically being glamorized like he is the shit. And then the guy that everybody thought was the shit got knocked the fuck out.
That's the truth, man. And thing about it is, my thing is, people can feel how they want to feel. I'm always gonna be a person that says, "Well, prove that." You know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't respect your opinion. I just challenge opinions. If somebody say something and I can't see it, I'm gonna say, "Prove that." Like, okay, how do you prove that? You know what I'm saying? Because we could say, okay, a motherfucker could be like people do this. People they never even seen before. The motherfucker could be like, Sugar Ray Robinson way better than Floyd. Using inflammatory, provocative words like way better and shit. Then you ask them, okay, name me a fight where Sugar Ray Robinson looked better than Floyd. And like, I ain't really watched him fight like that, but when you look at the highlights, you could tell. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Sugar Ray Robinson got like 16 hours of film.
Exactly.
On his whole career, he fought over 150 fucking times. How the fuck you gonna tell me somebody you didn't see is better than somebody you saw?
Mm-hmm.
That's bias. You can't prove that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Bud's sister gonna be crying.
Now, let me make one correction. To say it's gonna be Broner Maidana 2.0, once again, you're making Terence Crawford nice like that. That means that, like Broner, he has the durability to handle Spence's punch. So your assessment of that is incorrect. He does not have the durability to handle Spence's punch. So he ain't gonna last that long. I'm telling you, Spence is coming for blood.
Even the people I think know boxing don't know boxing. Maidana and Spence should never be in the same sentence.
Exactly.
Maidana is a brawler. He just swings. He hits your shoulders. Like, you know what I mean? He's the back of your head or shit. Spence has way better pressure, more effective pressure.
And is technically and fundamentally sound.
And let's be honest.
He's not awkward.
Broner at his best could probably beat Bud, man. Let's just keep it all the way up. Bud. Broner stood in there with Maidana power.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think he can't stand in there with Bud?
And Bud don't have the sturdiness that Broner has. So that's why it's a bad comparison. I'm telling y'all, as this fight gets closer, a lot of y'all boxing knowledge is being tested right now. A lot of y'all looking like y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Because I'm telling y'all, if y'all do film study, if y'all go in there and do the tell of the tape the way I do it, because I do it thoroughly. That's why every time I talk, I have a 95% accuracy rate because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you go and watch Hagler versus Hearns, you break that shit down. You break down what was talked about before the fight. You break down how both fighters were viewed by the media, and you match this with Spencer Crawford. You're gonna be like, man, this is this shit all over again. All the fuck over again. And then y'all motherfuckers, just like those motherfuckers in the 80s, was shocked when damn near Tommy Hitman Hearn Jerry Curl, he split the motherfucker's Jerry Curl wig off of his fucking head. And everybody was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yes, that's exactly what the fuck is gonna happen. When Terence Crawford gets folded like a pretzel and he hits that canvas, y'all gonna be sitting there surprised, like, damn. I kept saying EJ. I didn't know he was. No, there was one motherfucker out here in these boxing streets, and then there was another motherfucker out here in these boxing streets. He knows, and Tom Ross telling y'all definitively that Errol Spence was that dude. Do you want to know what my greatest attribute is in my life? Why I've been able to always pull women, why I've been able to always be successful at the things that I do is that my confidence, man. I believe in something or someone so much to the point where I'm not trying to hear the other bullshit or the other side. I don't, that's why 50-50 doesn't, I don't even understand that language. It's 100 or 0 for me. When I believe in something or I believe in something, I don't have time to see the other side.
Yeah.
So when I tell you motherfucking Spence gonna wash Crawford, I don't have time to entertain in my mind the other aspect of it because it's dead to me. That's what I'm telling you. If you're a fan of somebody, you're supposed to be like that. Definitive. I'm not telling you to be me because there's only one fucking me on this planet. But you need to be definitive in the way that you comport yourself. If you believe in someone or you believe in something, that shit needs to be definitive. There shouldn't be no wavering. Otherwise, leave the shit alone. It's that simple. So every time Spence is going up against an opponent, that opponent is going to get dissected by me. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to root for Spence. I ain't trying to hit the other side of the equation. And if the other motherfucker proved me wrong, I'll be the first one to say I was proven wrong. But you ain't never going to hear me during no fights, in between sectors, go back and forth. I don't do that bullshit. I don't got time for that. Because I feel that I'm taking away from me and my manhood in doing that. And that's what separates a man from a boy. Men make decisions and live with the fucking results. Whether the decision bites you in the fucking ass or whether the decision it goes in your favor, live with the fucking result. And if it bites you in the ass, learn from it.
Yeah.
And if it boils in your favor, salute it. It's just that fucking simple for me, man.
And that's the thing. The problem is guys know that their boxing knowledge is not really there. So while they act like they have the boxing knowledge, they really lean on boxing commentary, ESPN, LDBC, whoever's big and whatever they're saying. While they act like outwardly they act like it don't really fade them, they're really internalizing what's being said, not knowing majority of the media is propaganda.
Yep.
Think about it. How is it that all major media that's talking about the fight is on Bud's side? All of them, everybody.
So are they really Spence fans?
No, I'm talking about not even fans. I ain't talking about YouTube. I'm talking about major media like Yahoo Sports, ESPN, all these people that's on these major media outlets. They're all on Bud's side. Y'all don't think y'all don't find that like y'all don't find that suspicious? How's everybody talking about Al Heyman cheating these boxers? They don't want to pay Bud. How is that?
Because there's an undercurrent issue. The undercurrent issue is to always dig at PBC that basically cornered the market, that basically did things at a faster pace and a smarter pace than all of them. And I'm tired of people keep saying advisor is a promoter with another hat. You don't know shit about boxing because you have to study. This is the problem with a lot of people. They talk. Or if I'm going to talk on something, Ross knows this about me. Anyone that fucking knows me knows if I talk on something, I've already become a subject matter expert. I don't just talk. I do a lot of research and I'm continuously doing research at what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all need to go and look at boxing bylaws. If you look at boxing bylaws, you cannot operate as a promoter and an advisor at the same time. If Al Heyman is doing this, there is such a thing called U.S. tax evasion. There is such a thing called IRS. There is such a thing called boxing commission. They can fuck his ass up.
First of
So
all,
when Al Heyman is an advisor, that's what the fuck he is, an advisor. And that hat has nothing to do with promotion.
First of all, just ask yourself. Just think about it. When have you ever seen Al Heyman promoting a fight?
Thank you.
When have you ever seen Al Heyman say, "Hey man, Floyd pay-per-view coming soon"? Go get that. You ain't never heard Al Heyman do that. That's what the fight. That's what the promoters do.
Because as a promoter, your responsibility is you have to be out in front.
You gotta
Especially if the company is your name, you have to be out in front promoting. You guys have to even listen to the acronym of the word. Look at the basic syllables. Promoter. What does a promoter do? Have you guys ever dealt with club promoters? Have you ever guys dealt with promoters at different venues? They have to promote. Al Heyman doesn't promote. Promote is beneath him. Don't even get me started, man. That shit is beneath him. He got other people doing that shit. He advises. An advisory role is a boss role. It's a mafioso role because it's the role where when it's all said and done and there's a last and final authority decision that needs to be made from a business standpoint, you're the last say so. Right. Y'all just don't even know the difference of that shit. If you're doing business every day, you know that. You operate as an advisor. I am nowhere near no level of Al Heyman, but in my own little world, I'm a fucking advisor. People, I make the final decision in every fucking thing that I do. So I ain't no damn promoter. A promoter is a little guy. An advisor is the big fish. He's the one that when it's all said and done, the final decision is on him. And y'all sitting here comparing this shit because y'all listening to other idiots that don't even know what the hell they talking about. And I've already explained it. The difference between that is like the difference between someone who's a mortgage broker and someone who's a real estate agent. A real estate agent cannot operate also as a mortgage broker. Do you understand what kind of predatory lending, what kind of real estate laws they would be breaking if they do that shit? Usually you'll find in-house, if it's like a couple, a married couple, a husband and wife, the wife would be the real estate agent, the husband would be the mortgage broker. That's different because they both are operating in two different hats. Even though it's the same under the same umbrella, they're in two different hats and they're not interwovening their business together. One is under one license, the other is under another license. But if you have a motherfucker that's doing that, kind of like in the 2008 when there was a recession and there was a crash in the market and there was predatory lending, because you had a lot of people that were operating under two hats and they got in trouble for that. A lot of people are serving jail time for that shit. Al Heyman would be under the bars in jail right now, being both a promoter and an advisor. Nobody runs away from the U.S. government, man, when it comes to these things. And y'all sitting here being too stupid enough to not realize this. I don't give a fuck who you are. Ain't nobody more powerful than the U.S. government. When they come crashing down on your ass, it's jail fucking time. And y'all sitting here believing every fucking tea that y'all listening to. That's why I resurrected myself, because I got tired of the bullshit. And people kept begging me, hey, when you coming back? When you coming back? You know, Ross, my brother, asked me, you know what I'm saying? That's different. We're on a peer level. But a lot of people kept begging me, come back, man, because they needed me back to level level all you motherfuckers' heads back on the swivel. Because y'all listening to too much bullshit, man. Y'all don't even know what's real shit. I mean, this is pathetic.
That shit crazy, man. The thing about it is, how can I explain it in layman's terms? So, as an advisor, you got all these guys that's underneath them, they're their own promoters. They got to promote the fight. They got to do blase, blase, blase. What they want, if it's feasible with PBC, what's the name makes happen? Al Heyman makes it happen because he has the connections throughout the entertainment business. But these guys are in sole control of their careers. Their career could be trash. Their career, like, just look at them. Look at them. You got ABs. You got Errol Spence's. You got Danny Garcia's. You got fucking dude from Florida who Keith Thurman. These guys got the same advisor, but they all don't make the same good decisions. Because at the end of the day, he going to advise you. If you want to take 2 years off because you supposedly hurt and you ducking, he's not going to make you fight. You took 2 years off, now Errol Spence took over. It's over with. Keith Thurman, now Keith Thurman been on the outside looking in ever since he lost that fight to Pacquiao. And he's going to stay on the outside looking in because he's the one who ruined his own career by taking so much time off. Now he got to beg for fights. That he chose that life for himself. AB chose that life for himself. Taking fights he should have never been in. AB should have never even been in no ring with Maidana. Maidana's 2 weight classes bigger than AB. And now the first time he fought at the weight class, he fought Maidana. The first time he fought at that weight class, he fought Maidana. And everybody want to act like that victory is so cold. Maidana, Maidana ain't shit. He beat up somebody smaller than him. That's what he's supposed to do.
Exactly.
He is supposed to do that. But at the end of the day, AB, he wanted that fight and such made it happen for him. This is what you want. This is the money you want. Who you want? You want Lil Durk to be the rapper? Fine. He got everything he wanted. He got that ass down there killed in that ring. You know what I'm saying? Floyd. Look at his career. Look at Errol Spence's career. These are Al Heyman's advice, but these guys are making good decisions as promoters as well. Errol Spence kept the foot on the neck. That's why he getting the 60, 30, 65, 35.
And people don't pay attention. You know, people always disrespect black people and everything that black people do. The fighters are the promoters. Al Heyman is the advisor. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Promotion is beneath Al Heyman. The fighters are the promoters. If you guys look at the promotion names, if you go look at Bob Arum, it says Top Rank Promotions, right? When you look at a PBC fight, it will say Man Down Promotions, right. Mayweather Promotions. It doesn't say PBC Promotions. What it shows you is that, and then you see the parent. Y'all, man, y'all need to come to a business one-on-one school so I can teach you motherfuckers business so y'all can understand how this shit works. Then you'll see the parent name over all of that. That's the person who is the final authority. It'll say Premier Boxing Champions. You don't see nothing that says promotions attached to it. That's because that shit is beneath him. Al Heyman doesn't do anything that's beneath him, man. The guy likes to work behind the shadows. He's like the quiet version of Batman. You know, Batman is mysterious, but Batman is loud. Al Heyman is Batman without all the loudness. You get all of the mysteriousness, but you don't get to see the person. You don't get to see the visage. You don't get to see the physical appearance of that person. That's how he loves to operate. If you want to know anything that's the closest version of a promotion for PBC, it's Sam Watson. He's the one that's out in front. And you guys never paid attention to that. Him and his sons, they are the front face of PBC. They're the ones that's standing right next to the fighter. And even they're not promoters. But if you want a closest version of that, that's them. They're standing right there next to the fighters during the fight. This has been happening since Floyd Mayweather. Have you ever seen Al Heyman stand in the ring? That shit is beneath him. Y'all motherfuckers never ask these questions, man. And y'all sit here and go by the bullshit that people tell y'all. For Al Heyman to have to stand in the ring, that means Al Heyman is doing bad financially. That's a waste of his fucking time, man. That if you ever seen Al Heyman ever at a fight, he's sitting ringside, man. Don't get me started.
Everybody knows true power empowers others. So he can't. I mean, he could, but why would he do that? If he's telling these guys, "I'm gonna make you your own boss, and you're gonna be in charge of your own company," he can't run a company too. He can't be the head of their company as well. They got their company, and their company's under the umbrella of PBC. You know what I'm saying? But that's their company.
Al Heyman, for them to say that he ran Jamal Charlo. Why did Jamal Charlo run into the financial position that he ran into? If Al Heyman was running Jamal Charlo's finances, Jamal Charlo would have never been in that financial predicament, man. Are you guys serious? That means Jamal Charlo was running his own Lions only promotion situation, and he ran his money like it was paycheck to paycheck. When you have a business, you have to be even more frugal. You have to be even more financially responsible. You have to be even more strict with your finances. If you're not, you're going to run your money to the ground. Jamal Charlo was basically running his fights paycheck to paycheck because he was making so much good money PBC wise. Well, I got the next fight. You can't run your fights like that.
Right.
And that's why he ended up in the financial predicament. And you guys want to blame Al Heyman for that? Come on, man. Y'all got to be smarter than that. AB throwing money in the cash register at a store. So that's Al Heyman's fault that he did that? Or that's just that dumbass Negro that don't know how to handle his financial affairs? Come on, man. Y'all got to be smarter than this shit.
He say you just spend $35,000 a night in a strip club. Like, bro, believe in that shit add up.
Yep.
And he box for a living. He don't got no other hobbies or nothing else. So when he not boxing, he doing that every night. You know what I'm saying? That shit add up. That's millions of dollars.
The
These
level of
guys did that to
stupidity.
themselves because they run their own companies. It's called a conglomerate.
Yep.
You got
And
smart.
what you're seeing is some Negroes that know how to run their companies that are smart, like Earl Spence and them, because you never hear Earl Spence got financial problems. And you see some Negroes that just don't know how to run their own company, like Adrian Broner. This is all new to these guys. It's relatively new. And Javante Tank Davis would have ended up earlier on in that same situation if Floyd didn't hold his ass up with a tight leash. But y'all don't understand what Floyd did for this guy. If Floyd tight leashed his ass, because he could have been in some financial situation. The way he was blowing money too. But with time, he's learned because he's been able to be around Floyd and Leonard Ellaby's cachet and how they kind of help him. And now he's better because he understands things. But see, this is a problem with a lot of people. They just run their fucking mouths and they don't know half of what the fuck they talking about.
You know.
It's actually embarrassing. And then people are sitting here listening to this garbage, and then they're running their mouths like they know what they're talking about. And you guys are supposedly men?
But at the end of the day, as it says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yep.
So they're saying what they really mean. They're saying what they want to say. Whether they can substantiate it or not, they're saying it because that's what they want to believe. What you want to believe a lot of times don't even be facts. But the fact that you want to believe something that's false, you have a desperate desire to believe something that can't be substantiated, shows where your mindset is at. You know what I'm saying?
You have a lot of dumb motherfuckers, man. That's basically talking to a lot of dumb motherfuckers. I mean, we just gotta call a spade here, man. And then all of these dumb motherfuckers are coming to a conclusion where they think that what they're saying is making sense, and they are so outside of the scope, it's not even funny. All you got to do is follow the cookie crumbs, man. Pay attention. Look at these people's body language. Look at their actions. We're giving you guys simple science stuff on how to deal with the human psychology. There's what people say, and then there's their body language and their actions. You judge this with women. You judge this with business. You judge this with life. If someone is telling you something, it's like a woman telling you, I love you, but her body language and actions keep showing you the opposite.
The opposite.
So if her body language and action is showing you the opposite, are you going to go off of what she's saying, or are you going to go off of the way she's reacting in front of you?
Right.
It's the same shit with boxing. Are you going to go off of what is actually happening or what people are saying? Because the best fights in boxing are PBC fights. The best fights that you have gotten since this whole pandemic have been PBC events. The same people that's dish ragging PBC, saying to boycott PBC, they're the same ones always ready to do a live stream, cover fights, and PBC has made their platforms on YouTube money. As a matter of fact, these people are indebted to PBC because every time you collect a super chat, every time you collect a cash app, every time you collect something covering that fight, PBC made you money.
Right.
It wasn't, people didn't come to watch you because of you. Who gives a fuck about you? They came to watch because of the name of who you're covering. And the nerve of you guys to turn around and sit here and say, well, PBC is the problem. Are you serious?
Right. The problem is psychology 101. When you take that, you'll see that they did it for how every type of thought process. They've done a case study on it because what you think is how you behave. That because there's no study of the mind, there's study of behavior, and
Right.
that's what shows people how you think. They did a case study to where doctors told other participants, other volunteers to electrically shock other volunteers for no reason, and because they were being told by a doctor, a so-called specialist, they were doing something that they knew was fundamentally wrong, but they were doing it because someone who posed as an expert was telling them to do it, and they knew it was wrong. That's psychology. The majority of people are like that. They'll repeat something that they don't make sense to them just because the person has a title. Just because the person has some type of cachet.
It's like Jordan 6 times Bishop said, Terence Crawford fans are basically females. They're right, and you're wrong for telling the truth. Listen, man, Terence Crawford was raised by a bunch of women. He always has women coming to his defense. There's nothing masculine about Terence Crawford. Even the way he tweets is feminine as fuck, man. And you mean to tell me a guy like that with all of that feminine energy inside of him, he looked like a fucking fangirl when he was in front of Earl Spence. That dude is gonna beat Earl Spence? Yeah, I said it. Y'all motherfuckers say, man, he knows always disrespectful when it comes to Earl Spence opponent. I am. Because I don't feel no Earl Spence opponent is on his level. I think it's a disrespect to even think the opponent is on his level.
Right.
Because I know who I'm rooting for, and I know that motherfucker's badass.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are y'all rooting for? Do y'all even believe Earl Spence is that badass? I do believe that. Terence Crawford is the black Mikey fucking Garcia. I said it before, and I will say it again. And you know how I know this? Because in the Mikey Garcia fight, if you go and pay attention to his body language, Terence Crawford was the main one saying, man, I don't know, man, Mikey Garcia's skills. He wanted to see if Mikey Garcia could do something against Earl Spence. He was banking on that. He was praying for that. He was hoping for that, so that it could give him some kind of confidence in his mind that maybe he might have a chance. And when he saw Mikey Garcia was washed, that motherfucker was quiet for a whole year.
It was quiet, bro. He didn't want to say shit. All of a sudden, he ain't had no words for Errol Spence, man. And that's the thing, man. Whenever you see the news media as a whole jump on a black dude and start supporting him, not trying to tear him down, it's because he's a beta, man. Before Steph Curry came around, LeBron was a darling, right? No matter what Kobe did, Kobe winning the championship, they ain't even talk about the championship. They talk about LeBron James going to Miami to play with two bona fide studs. That's what the media talking about, because he was a darling, right? A beta. Steph Curry came, and now Steph Curry's a darling. Ain't Steph Curry a beta? Don't his wife be treating him all on social media, talking about she getting bored and she want to date outside of marriage and all type of goof ass shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They choose betas for y'all to follow. Whenever there's an alpha, guess what? The media on their ass. They can't do nothing right. Errol Spence, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. They blame Michael Jordan daddy dying on him gambling.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can't do shit right. Lamar Jackson run for 400 yards.
Do you know they blame Tom Brady every way? Because Peyton Manning, they were using Peyton Manning for the first half of his career to say, Tom Brady is not a quarterback like Peyton Manning that can think. He's not cerebral. He's a system player. That's what they were calling him. They were trying to dish rag him and said, oh, he can only play under the Bill Belichick system. Did he not win a Super Bowl outside of Bill Belichick's system? No. Then they dish ragged him on the second half of his career when they were propping up Aaron Rodgers, disrespecting him with that. Oh, he's not like Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers wore that championship belt, but the motherfucker only won one Super Bowl because he had receivers that could get yak.
And he had a stellar defense, man. Let's be honest here. They want you to be caught up in their standard of how things are supposed to look and not facts. They'll tell you they don't like the way somebody throw the football, so that guy isn't good. And they'll just bar all the facts. They'll tell you an MVP ain't good because he don't throw the football like a white man over his head. Then they'll tell you Justin Herbert better than Lamar Jackson. Justin Herbert has not done anything. And you got other black people just regurgitating that. Why? Because we had that mental breakdown that somebody on TV says it, or if they got a title, or they got X amount of subscribers, that means nothing they say can be questioned.
Yep. That's what when Ross said, yo, he knows, man. He kept checking in on me and stuff like that. Yo, we need to get back. We need to get back, man. And the reason why I kept saying that is because he knows there's nothing like us. There's nobody like us, man. No talking heads like us, because we tell y'all exactly what y'all need to hear, and we tell you what is what it is in that moment. We're not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. We're not gonna give you no bullshit. We're gonna just tell it to you straight up. Nobody can do that, man. Nobody else. Everybody else got some pandering agenda. Everybody else wants to play both sides of the field. Everybody else wants to tell you one side. They want to tell you another side. We're telling you what's real. Yep. Terence Crawford is not on the level of Errol Spence. I can say that confidently. I can say that definitively. And I can go as far as to say this is one of the easiest fights that Errol Spence has fought at 147 in years, man. As a matter of fact, this is a back step for Errol Spence.
It's pretty much all. I mean, what's the name was a tough fight because he wanted to be tough because he wanted to prove a point. Sean Porter, but Errol Spence has been pretty much having his way ever since the Kell Brook fight. Kell Brook fight was his legit toughest fight. Believe it or not, Kell Brook did more damage than Sean Porter. Sean Porter was busy, but Kell Brook was landing flush shots, and Errol had to dig deep, and he stopped with those. But even though he stopped them in that brutal fashion, I still don't make fun of Kell Brook because I understand what he was fighting. I knew Errol Spence was the truth then. I ain't need him. I ain't need him to get all these belts to know he was the truth because I saw how he was fighting. You gotta really Errol Spence makes you standing there and we gonna thump because no matter how good of a boxer you are, he could cut off the ring because he's just as good as a boxer as you. So if you're gonna beat him, you're gonna have to beat Errol Spence. There's not gonna be no robbery or no cards because he's gonna try to stop you, man. He's gonna injure you. He don't leave it up to no cards. He's young. That's how it's supposed to be. When you young, ain't no cards, man. Errol Spence rarely goes to the cards. That's when he was bullshitting, blowing up. When he came in shape, it was stoppage. Will Errol Spence ever come in a fight in shape, sturdy, with the 8-pack, it's stoppage. Because he's still young. He's supposed to be stopping these motherfuckers. It ain't till he gets to like 160 and he get a little older where, you know what I mean, I'll accept these a lot of decisions, you know what I mean? At that point, it's cool as whatever. But right now, he not only is he gonna stop Bud, I guarantee you Bud be forced into retirement. Or when he fight, it's gonna be the unofficial retirement. When he fight the next time, it's gonna be like he's gonna be a shell of himself.
Exactly. You know, the funny thing about it is Earl Spence, and I'm glad you said that, and that's what Leonard Ellaby was talking about when Leonard Ellaby explained it in the exchange between Earl Spence and Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, for him to beat Floyd, Earl Spence cut the ring off. So with Spence, it's a dog fight. So when people say Terence Crawford is a dog, yeah, what kind of dog is he? He's a barking chihuahua. That's what he is. When you think of Earl Spence, he's a Tibetan Mastiff. Tibetan Mastiffs apply unlimited pressure on you, man. You ever seen a Tibetan Mastiff against any dog? They're constantly putting you under that pressure. They're constantly biting at you. They're constantly throwing hands at you. They're constantly putting you down. They're constantly putting their weight of their body against you. This is a dog that has so many different variations when it's fighting. That's how Earl Spence is, man. It's constant pressure, pounds of pressure coming at you. Terence Crawford has never faced that. So when people say, well, Earl Spence better not be risky, Earl Spence is coming in to be risky. That's what people don't understand. Earl Spence is coming in there to let you know I'm here. Because he wants to let you know that he is the dominant person in that ring. That's what dominant people do in anything in life. They are in your face, they're in your chest, and they're letting you know that they're there. And the only way that you're going to deal with them and you're going to remove them, you got to kill them. And Terence Crawford's never faced that. And you could tell body language wise, man. That's why I try to teach you guys. I'm teaching you guys body language and action. Pay attention to people's body language and action. When Earl Spence told him, I ain't with all that talking shit, man. See your ass in the ring. When that bell ring, we're going to see if you're talking. Look at Terence Crawford's body language after that. Scared, afraid, petrified. Like, damn, this dude is not willing to go in and exchange with me. No, he's not willing to go into your bullshit. He wants you in the ring so he can teach you a lesson. He wants you in the ring so he can punish you. If y'all pay attention to that, y'all going to know who's going to win the fight. I mean, the signs are right there. You just got to pay attention to it.
He knows. Let me get 5 minutes. I got to step aside. I'll be back. I got a phone call real quick.
Okay. Well, this is what people got to understand. And that's what you got to pay attention to. And I don't know how many times I have to say this over and over and over and over again. Spence and Crawford is going to be decided on who is the sturdier person that night. who is the physically most dominant person that night. When have you ever known in Terence Crawford's fights, when have you ever known in Terence Crawford's career that he's ever been more sturdier, more physically dominant, and more physically opposing than Errol Spence? Never. That has never happened. And he's going to be the bigger fighter that night. He's going to miraculously do things that night that we haven't seen. Terence Crawford throws a lot of rapid punches, man. I don't know if y'all even watch his fights. That rapid punch shit is not going to work against Errol Spence. Errol Spence throws a lot of short punches inside, and they're accurate, man. And they're coming at you with 80% power. Left hook, right hook, a rib cage to the body, uppercut. And then he'll do a 5-6 punch combination variation. He doesn't do it fast because that's not the style of fighter he is, but he does it in a rhythm. It's like boom, 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 and then boom, 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 and then boom, 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 and then boom, boom. And so y'all gotta watch these fights, man, to understand what I'm talking about. And then he resets on you and he does it again. And then he'll change up the velocity on it a little bit. He'll change up the pace on it a little bit. And when he cuts the ring off, he cuts it off laterally. He'll beat your ass up to the right. He'll beat your ass up to the left. And he goes back and forth with that. There is no ever Errol Spence is staying in one stationary position. And that's why you can't catch him. And all while he's doing this, he's blinding you with the fucking jab. So you can't even see the punches. Do y'all even watch Errol Spence fights? Do y'all even break this shit down? Y'all sitting here listening to people telling you Errol Spence is not an intelligent fighter. How the hell did he get to 28-0? How did he break down all these opponents? You think he did that with just power? We know fighters that just have power. We know fighters that are just brutally opposing. We've seen them lose. And we know fighters that have actual skills with the power. Before Floyd had brittle hands, he had power. Floyd was knocking people out left and right. His hands became brittle, and then he became a guy where he just ended up having snappy punches. Andre Ward learned early on, I'm not going to do the whole knockout shit because I want my hands. So he just stayed in a snappy position. But Errol Spence is that type of dude, man. He's built for boxing, man. He has a Marvin Hagler type of body. And that's what you guys got to understand. When somebody's built for something, that's a whole different animal than somebody that you supposedly think has the skill set. Damn the skills. This guy's built for it. Michael Jordan was built to play basketball. Michael Jordan has hands the size of a center. That's why he's able to palm the ball the way he's able to palm it. When somebody's built for something, that's a whole nother level, man. You can't even calculate that. That's incalculable. Y'all got to look at Spence's sturdiness. Y'all got to look at his back. I'm a gym rat. I'm a person that's big on health, fitness, and nutrition. You guys see the way I look. I'm a monster, He-Man, Hercules-like figure. So when I see somebody has a physical, dominating, opposing structure, that's impressive, especially when it's natural. That shit is impressive. If you look at Errol Spence's back, you can see why his punches are so thudding, because his lats are insane. And most of his punches come from the fact that his lats are powerful. A lot of your punching comes from your latissimus dorsi muscle. As a boxer, it doesn't come from your hands. It comes from that back. Go look at Errol Spence sparring on a heavy back. I want you guys to pay attention to his back. And that's how you know the opponent is fucked. And that's how you know the opponent is fucked. His back is letting you know those punches are going to fucking hurt. Y'all don't pay attention to the simple things, the small things. Terence Crawford is fucked, man. There is no scenario where Terence Crawford wins this fight on any stretch of the imagination. Terence Crawford just better hope that Errol Spence got mercy on him that night. Because Errol Spence is going to make the ultimate statement. He's coming in there to see Terence Crawford scream like a bitch in the ring. That's what he's coming in there to do. Y'all ain't never seen Bud scream? Well, you going to hear some a chihuahua barking behind the damn fence. That's what the fuck you going to hear in that ring. I guarantee that shit.
But you know what? That's what they're going to do. Because people like Spence, they always move the goalposts. Always. They always move the goalposts. Just like they did even Tom Brady Floyd, blase. And even on Kanye, even though Kanye been doing some stupid shit lately, even on him, there's always the goalpost always being moved, right? When Spence beats Crawford, you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say it's only because he's bigger than him. That's
I
what they're
want
gonna.
them to say that. You know why I want them to say that? I want them to say that so if motherfuckers know Terence shouldn't have been in the ring with. I'm a love when motherfuckers say that shit. Because then that's gonna let people know he shouldn't have been in the ring with him in the first place. He should have been very fucking scared. That was just like Tommy Hitman Hearns. Everybody was saying the same thing at the end of that fight. I'm glad you said that. See, I've already have every counter
That's what they're
ready
gonna
for
say.
all these motherfuckers. Because you know what they said at the end of that fight? Well, Marvin Hagler was just bigger than Tommy Hitman Hearns. And you know what Bob Arum said? Even Bob Arum himself said, I don't want to hear that shit. The best man won that night. That's why, people could look at the negative of a person. I always look at the person's positive, what rules out pros versus cons. And Bob Arum said, I don't want to hear that. The best man won that night. And the best man was Marvin Hagler.
How can you not say that? It was a good fight while it lasted, and the best man was on top. So how can you not say that? That's a no brainer. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I didn't say that because it's going to be a efficient. There's no excuses are efficient. I say that because that's how boxing goes. That's going to be the narrative because people like Bud, there's always got to be an excuse for them. Think about it. LeBron lose in the finals. They don't even put the blame on LeBron. He the leader of the team. They put it on some utility man off the bench.
Yep.
Utility man supposed to hit the game winning shot and shit. Dude ain't played all game. He supposed to come in, hit the game winning shot.
But here's the thing, Ross. Earl knows why people are gonna do that. Earl's gonna make a meme. You know how you've never really seen, it's been a while since you've seen memes from Earl Spence fights. You know, with the Kell Brook fight, there was that meme. He was on Boys to Men bended knee fashion, right? It's going to be a meme in the Terence Crawford fight to where people can't run to that because people are going to start using that meme on social media. The way that Bud is going to get knocked out, there's not going to be no room for that. As a matter of fact, even people that root for Bud are going to be laughing at Bud because Earl's going to make this thing unanimous. You know the way he's going to punish this dude is going to be unanimous. It's gonna really rock a lot of people's cages because you know what it's gonna tell people? They didn't know the sport of boxing like they thought they did because all these years they were dish ragging Errol Spence, talking shit about him, and the fact that he just embarrassed, he totally obliterated Terence Crawford. Because the problem is people don't want to see that Floyd Mayweather dichotomy again. You know, Floyd was just that much better than the competition, right? Nobody could go against him. You had to crack that. How Mayweather said it, that Mayweather Da Vinci Code. Well, it's the same thing with Earl Spence. How can another guy come behind that dude and be the truth? People don't want that. Most people, they love parody because most people are parody minded. They don't like special because most people, let's just be honest, they're not fucking special.
They're not special. They ain't been special or nothing their whole life. And instead of doing their due diligence and learn something at a technical fundamental level, they just hate on other niggas.
Yep.
And we all have the capability of being special at something, but if you're too busy hating, you will never perfect no craft.
Exactly.
You're too busy looking at the next man. Shit. You're too busy looking at the next man taking his test. Focus on your own answers, man.
Exactly.
You ain't know what that shit right or not. You still here trying to copy and shit.
Exactly.
Copy it so hard, you copy the dude's name and shit.
Exactly. Nobody can tell me I'm not rare, special, and unique. So I'm always, if I'm going to study a gauging point, I'm going to always study a gauging point of people that are rare, special, and unique. The reason why I root for Earl Spence is because Earl Spence has an attribute that's similar to mine. He is special. I've said this saying before, and I will say it again. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. I don't got time to be settling for the rest, man. That's for y'all. Y'all want to settle for the rest? Go ahead. That's on y'all. I don't got time for that, man. I don't got time to be wasting. My time in of itself is important. I don't got time to be wasting it on bullshit. If I'm gonna put my time into something, it's because it's worth my damn time. And the Earl Spence fight is always worth my time because I'm seeing a master. I'm seeing a virtuoso at what he does best. Just like Floyd prior to him. I saw a master and a virtuoso at what he did. I remember me and Richie Rich was talking about it. Richie Rich was like, man, I don't know about Manny Pacquiao. You know, I love my brother. I don't mean to do him like that, but I have to. He was like, man, I don't know about Manny Pacquiao. And I told him, man, Floyd gonna watch this dude, dog. He gonna watch him, dog. Don't buy into that punches and bunches bullshit. Floyd gonna watch him. I was definitive about that. I didn't care.
We already figured that out back when we used to talk boxing, and Richie had grew from that point.
Yep.
A lot of people, even some of the elect, can be fooled by the strong devices of the media, man.
Exactly. Even the very elect shall be deceived, man. And that's the thing. They're being deceived. And I saw, you know why I knew Floyd was gonna watch Manny Pacquiao? When I saw Floyd brought out the wood chopping training again, I was like, oh, the reason why he did that is so that he could throw punches to where every time Manny Pacquiao run in, it's going to be a punch that's going to stall Manny Pacquiao's mind and reset him. And that's what was happening. Those punches were so powerful, it was resetting Manny Pacquiao every fucking time.
Manny Pacquiao has a tell, too, when he get ready to punch. When he get ready to throw his left hand, he paused with the jab twice, sometimes 3 times, and he throws his whole body into the left hand. And then when he get ready to jab, he do his show. He got tails when he fight, and all Floyd was doing was making him start over. As soon as he give one of his tails, jab, bop, jab, bop. You want to run in? Right, straight right hand, bow. He did this shit all night. It was easy. And then after his father wanted to stop us. When his father started talking shit, then Floyd started backing him up. Like, fuck it, let me see if I can knock this motherfucker out. You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry, Ben Castro. All of that's coming back, man.
But
I know the shit's been missing. They've been missing. But y'all need to thank this brother right here that's talking, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have come back even as soon as I did. I would have still took some more time off. So y'all need to thank him. If there's anybody that gets extra thanks, is this dude, because he just kept checking in. So I knew eventually I would have to lend my voice back out there, because I know you guys are tired of the bullshit. You guys are tired of the nonsense that you're hearing. You're tired of people that keep going back and forth in so many different directions. Y'all need somebody that's consistent, authentic, or people that are consistent, authentic, that's going to tell you stuff exactly the way you need to hear it, not the way they want to tell you. No, the way it needs to be said, and it makes sense on a level to where you could understand it. It's realistic and it applies to you. Because we're not doing this because we want to ingratiate our opinions on you. If you notice the difference between me, Ross, and everybody else, me and Ross, we tell you guys exactly what you need to hear on a situation. You may hate us for it, but guess what? You're going to appreciate us, because guess what? It's exactly what you needed to hear in that moment. So what you need to hear in the moment is Errol Spence is going to wash Terence Crawford. There are no two ways around it. Book it. I don't know how many times I got to say that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. The thing about it is, we have to learn how to have an objective mind when we're dealing with the media. Even when you see things that you don't really agree with, you gotta have an objective mind to not get emotional and to kind of break it down to its fundamental. If you get mad at something like raw emotion, if you just jump out, you get mad, then you'll never know why something is said. You'll never know the narrative, why this propaganda is coming out. You're too upset. You're too in your feelings. You know what I'm saying? There's a purpose for everything. But as you can see, every dog has its day. Everybody that was propping up got knocked off their high horse. Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez. Right after that, Cambosa. Now Devin Haney got it. You know what I'm saying? Canelo knocked off his shit. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers get knocked off their high horse because they was never that. They just wasn't. Now, you know it's gonna take to get Devin Haney, somebody that's really elite. It's gonna take Tank, somebody that's really elite, to get Devin Haney off of it.
Well, we already know who's elite, and we know who Devin Haney's afraid of. Yeah, I was mad at Shakur Stevenson because of the weight, and I'm still gonna hold his feet to the fire, because that's who I am, man. You guys know I'm a hardliner when it comes to truth. Ross is a truth teller, but Ross, he's and I say this in the best of ways because Ross can understand what I'm talking about. Ross will always be about his people, so he's gonna massage the situation to where you guys can get at a simple level. Me, I just don't do all that. Me, I'm just gonna give it to you raw. I don't care if y'all get mad at me. I'm just gonna do it like that because I just believe that somebody just needs to hear this shit straight up, and it is what it is. It's just a difference on how we approach, but we always come to the same coin. That's why it's called double dragons, because one dragon just sees it differently, the other sees it differently, but we come to the same equation. To me, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney is afraid of Shakur Stevenson because Shakur Stevenson, the reason why I like him, and I'm gonna tell you why I like him as a boxer, he's not afraid to take on challenges. This motherfucker just rocked his ass in after the last fight at 130. He's already knocking the door down at 135. Hey, I want the big neck. This is when you know somebody's special. That's why I was mad at him with the weight situation. Because special people, they always want the best. Floyd was like that. If you listen to Floyd, Floyd was like, man, I want Oscar De La Hoya. I want these guys. The best people always want the best at wherever situation they're going to. Shakur called Devin Haney out, flat out. He said, he got all the belts. I want it. Because Shakur knows he can beat Devin Haney. And if you're a true boxing fan, you know. I don't care how much you like Devin Haney. You know Shakur can beat Devin Haney. You fucking know it. Yeah. I just need Shakur to be on point with the weight and all of that. But when it's all said and done, Devin Haney is scared of Shakur Stevenson. Because Shakur Stevenson is damn near, in today's modern boxing, I would say for the little guys, his boxing skills is highly impressive. He does everything fucking right as a boxer. It's not like Errol Spence, punishment, elite, supreme boxing style. It's more of that finesse. But he does every fucking thing right in that boxing ring. He moves his head. His back foot is on point. When he comes and he cuts the ring off, he comes and cuts the ring off with mean intention. He throws combinations. He knows how to get out of the way. He knows how to box on his toes. Shakur does everything right. There's nothing stationary by him. He doesn't throw choppy overhand rights. He throws every punch the right way. So to me, Shakur Stevenson would beat Devin Haney. I have no doubts in my mind about that.
Yeah, I think I don't. To me, I think he could do it, but it's not definitive. It's not definitive like I know Tank would. I know Tank will stop Devin Haney.
Yeah, Tank would knock out Devin Haney. Yeah, I'm talking from like a boxing standpoint.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I believe Shakur has the skills to outbox Devin Haney, but I believe Tank is the cream of the crop.
Right, well, his name is Tank, so he's gonna tank anybody. Tank's just gonna knock out. The reason why I don't even talk about Tank is because Tank is just a step above, man. Like, it's disrespectful to even put Tank in the talks with those guys. Honestly, the more realistic fight where Devin Haney does not walk away, where Devin Haney's wondering if he's gonna have concussions and all of that, it's the fight Shakur Stevenson. Because in that fight, Devin Haney could still continue to box. But if Devin Haney fights Gervonta Tank Davis, he's getting knocked the fuck out. Let's just be honest.
He's getting knocked out, man.
He's gonna lose his sobriety as a boxer. I mean, Gervonta Tank Davis talked about it. When Gervonta Tank Davis got mad, he didn't even care no more. Gervonta Tank Davis said it when they kept saying, well, Devin Haney Gervonta Tank Davis said, man, there was a time during that spar where I was about to knock this motherfucker out, and Floyd begged me to not do it.
Floyd got in and stopped it.
And stopped him.
Yeah.
He said, I wasn't even in the best of shape, but there was a time in the fight where Floyd begged me to not knock his ass out. And I was about to knock him out.
Yeah, he jumped in and stopped it. He said, I was mad at Floyd for doing that because
exactly.
This nigga was talking shit while I was getting ready to stop him. Floyd was like, nah. I think Floyd thought he was gonna fuck his career up. You gotta understand.
And that's when Floyd, you know how you could tell who Floyd picked? That's where Floyd signed Gervonta Tank Davis in that sparring. There's a reason why Floyd signed Tank and not Devin Haney. Because he signed the guy that he knew was better that night in that sparring match. That's why he signed Tank. Because he knew Tank could knock out Devin Haney. He knew it.
Right.
The problem with a lot of black fans, they don't want to tell you the truth on shit. They want you to be in this kumbaya mode with all black fighters. I'm not gonna be kumbaya. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna support my own, but I'm gonna tell you the levels. I'm gonna give you the honest levels on everybody. I'm gonna say Tank is above Tank. Tank is above Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson is slightly above Devin Haney. I'm gonna say these things, and I don't care if it rattles the cage. I don't care if you call me Oreo. I don't care about none of that. I'm for all of mine. People should know this from day one. I root for my black fighters over anybody. I damn near call them elite black fighters. I don't think there's no race in the sport of boxing that's better than black fighters. The greatest boxers are black. I've said this from day one when I started covering boxing. So people can say what they want. The content speaks for itself.
It's like I've been trying to tell you. He knows. It's why I don't really charge it to their mind, not their heart. People are psychologically. They have a psychological disposition to side with wherever has the power structure.
Exactly.
A lot of people are on Devin Haney. Why are they doing it? Who ESPN on?
Devin
Haney. That's why.
You know why? Because he signed with Top Rank. Devin Haney did the Top Rank move so that he can start getting. He did the Top Rank move so he can start getting that Terence Crawford coverage. Because let's be honest, and it was kind of a smart move for him. Because let's be honest, when he went on DAZN, they wasn't promoting him for shit. You and I know. You're the one that famously said DAZN was a failed app.
Yeah, man. I told y'all, man. See, that's the thing. Y'all motherfuckers don't be listening to me, man. Listen, one thing I know for sure, I understand business, man. I seen the shit coming because think about this: you can't upset a good working business model unless you perfect it. Only thing you could do with boxing is make the pay-per-view experience better. You can't change it because it's
so when you promote KSI and Logan Paul over Devin Haney, are you really saying Devin Haney is that dude? Like, who would promote two YouTubers over a guy that's supposed to be a professional boxer?
Devin Haney wasn't supposed to go on there because Devin Haney was supposed to. If he's going to do it that way, he's supposed to build up his platform first. Because think about it, they won with the money, not with the skills. Nobody knew who Devin Haney was. That's the reason why he didn't get paid like those guys.
And then that night, that was the first night Devin Haney's skills got exposed because he fought Alfredo Santiago, and that dude was countering him. What I saw was Devin Haney was throwing choppy overhand rights, and he was getting countered. And I said, "Damn, yeah, what if Tank land those fucking punches on him?"
He got saved by the bell in one round because he was hurt like a motherfucker. He was looking retarded.
Exactly.
You know, the thing about it is this: boxing is brutal, man. Do not be on the same card with somebody that's more famous than you. Why? Because they gonna headline it no matter how good they is.
And you can't knock Eddie Hearn for being a astute businessman.
Right.
Knew that KSI won and Logan Paul were just more popular than Devin Haney. He just knew it.
And that go to show you what the fuck he thought about Devin Haney because he shouldn't even have Devin Haney on that card.
Exactly.
He had somebody else on that card. Devin Haney should have been on his own card.
And you remember all those motherfuckers was kissing Eddie Hearn and them's ass? Where's all that Eddie Hearn ass kissing when Devin Haney was there? Now they're kissing Bob Arum's ass. That's why I told you, you cannot trust these fickle motherfuckers, man. You can't trust them.
Then they got the spirit of Steven from Django.
Thank you.
They got that spirit, man. And you gotta pray for the brothers, man. You gotta pray for these motherfuckers, man. Man, these niggas, they got sickness. If it's black and it's unapologetic, niggas think if they side with the white man, that's gonna make them safe. Nope.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make you safe. Because let's say if the white man had a Thanos snap, he could just get rid of all the black alpha males. Who you think he coming for next? All y'all motherfuckers, man, that's still left, that's beta. Y'all ass next.
Yeah, because he got to decimate and get rid of the race. And what you're saying is true because what happened in Avengers Endgame, Thanos changed his mind and said, you know what? I shouldn't have decimated half. I should have decimated everybody. So what you said is true.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, people need to understand you always put a stand with your people. You can't, no, it's a saying that you don't got to be the fastest man when you run from the bear. You just got to be faster than the slowest motherfucker. But if racism is a bear, then you can't be leaving your own people behind. You got to be with them. You know what I'm saying? As much as they allow you to be with them, because some niggas is ignorant, right?
Yep.
You got to be with the motherfuckers, right?
And when I'm with my people, I'm going to put them at their truest and properest levels. It's like in hip hop. It's like in hip hop. Kanye West is better than Drake. It's like basketball. Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James. Does that mean I hate LeBron James? Does that mean I hate
Nah,
Drake? No, it doesn't mean that. I'm just putting everything in its proper
it-
perspective.
it's
Boxing.
not, it's not
Javante Tank Davis is better than Devin Haney. That doesn't mean I'm hating Devin Haney. I'm just telling the truth.
the truth. Boston fan number 4. Thanks, bro. 4 times.
Appreciate that. Make sure y'all donate to motivate, man. Super chat, cash app, we name it. Give your Sunday's best, man, because we're giving you guys that heat and that fire, and we're separating the weak from the fucking strong, man.
The reason why the zone ain't never gonna be shit because they put their money in the wrong person. They would have been better off putting their money on Benavidez and Jamal Charlo. They'd have been better. At least those guys would have fought competition. They put their money on Canelo, and Canelo fought 10 fights nobody wanted to see in a row. He raped them for that 300. Easy. He went over there and said, man, I ain't about to fight nobody. And they did another dumb thing. They paid his ass all the money up front. Dumb as hell. I seen all that shit coming. I knew they was going to flop, man, because they couldn't recoup that bread. Motherfuckers don't
that goes to show you. That goes to show you the racial demographics issue, because they didn't even do that with Anthony Joshua. With Anthony Joshua, they didn't pay him all of the money up front. With Anthony Joshua, he had to get paid based on per fight. And to be honest with you, if you're looking at it per capita, Anthony Joshua actually meant more to the zone because of the UK fan base than what Canelo Alvarez ever meant. He actually did more for the zone than Canelo Alvarez, so he should have been the highest earner. And he wasn't even the highest earner. They gave that to Canelo. So that was a slap in Anthony Joshua's face, and it just shows you that he himself was under the wrong promotional. To be honest with you, Eddie Hearn is who he is because of Anthony Joshua's popularity. And, I'm not the biggest Anthony Joshua fan, but I can see the metrics of him. His popularity, his cachet, and what he brought to the sport. Man, he helped Matchroom Sports. He built Matchroom Sports based on that shit.
He built it. And these motherfuckers failed, bro. They failed because they chose to promote the wrong motherfucker and not put the money into the person they should have put it into. And think about it is they was trying to get they would have get Deontay Wilder the fights he wanted, they would have blew up.
Yep.
They want to get Deontay Wilder over there, and they don't want to promise him none of the fights that he wants. Because guess what? If Deontay Wilder can't do nothing else, his mere presence in the fight is going to make sure it gets sold out.
Yep. And you see what they did to Demetrius Andrade. They basically told Demetrius Andrade. They told Demetrius Andrade, look, man, we know that you're so talented, but we're just gonna waste you away. We're gonna waste your talent away. They disrespected him, man. And this is why old school promotional boxing and boxing fans were smart should be done away with, because that format, that style has messed up the sport so much to the point to where if there was more Al Haymans of the world or the new variation, because that's what Al Heyman was doing. Al Heyman not only wanted to corner the market, Al Heyman is about legacy. He wanted for other people in the sport to copy his blueprint and become many versions of him. If they were smart and they started doing that, now you would have had a situation where every promoter would have been honest. They would have had to do honest business practices, and they would have to pay these fighters exactly what they deserve. No one paid attention when Dillian White was basically saying that he was underpaid. I remember the press conference when Dillian White looked like a fucking monkey on the stage. Yes, I'm going to say it. They made him look like a monkey on the stage. Mm-hmm. And Eddie Hearn's dad, Barry Hearn, was like, man, why is he talking? I miss those days where fighters didn't say nothing. This used to be a slave trade operation. You would have thought the black platforms would have been all over that. No, they passed that in satire. They passed that in banter. They passed that in jokes. But left and right, they want to get after Al Heyman, who's trying to build up black fighters and make them become more and more financially independent. I never could understand that backwards way of thinking, man.
It's not jokes. It's only jokes to people who don't understand how boxing got started. The first boxers were slaves, man.
Yep.
The reason why the Irish and Italian them started boxing because they was poor. But the first boxers were slaves and they had to fight to the death.
Yep.
And niggas just sit right there like in Django and bet on them.
Yep.
And then put the other one down. That was the first. Those were the first boxers, man.
And that's what Barry Hearn was alluding to.
When he alludes to that, he's alluded to something that's very nefarious, man.
Yep.
He's alluded to something that's a slap in the face.
Yep.
But if you don't know, you don't know. And the reason why they don't like Al Heyman because those guys, what they got paid, a beer and a broad, they got just a little something just to ease the pain. That's what they trying. That's the equivalent of what they're doing now. The promoter getting billions of dollars out Bob Arum and these guys getting $2 million flat rate, getting $800,000 to get your head beat in and shit. They ain't paying them nothing, and that's how they keep control of them. That's why they don't like Al Heyman. Al Heyman is changing it from a slave business to an actual business, making these guys actual businessmen to where when they done boxing, they have something to pass down to their children.
Exactly.
Boxing was never supposed to be something for black men to pass down to their children. As we pass down the trade, you can't pass down a business. You weren't supposed to have no business.
And then they have the top type of boxers, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. They thought that them speaking out against this stuff when they kept speaking out against Floyd was going to be like the poster boy or poster boy's message to try to derail it. But if anything, PBC just said, you know what, we're going to buckle down and we're going to give you guys such a great cast. Because the thing with PBC, and that's why nobody can compete, when you look at the zone fights, you look at all of these Sky Sports fights and all these other fights, the undercard is bullshit. And then the real actual fight doesn't live up. When you look at PBC, PBC's undercards are so amazing that sometimes the undercard overwhelms even the main fight. And you know the main fight is going to be great. So you watch the whole thing from the beginning to the end. And they have people that's commentating that are animated, funny. They bring you current boxers, not retired boxers. There have been moments where they've had Deontay Wilder. There's been moments where they've had Gervonta Davis, Sean Porter, and even current boxers that are not sports announcers, but they have a fight coming up like Errol Spence. PBC did that so that you can be engaged and you can be entertained the whole way. And people are not even paying attention to that kind of stuff, man. And they sitting here talking trash. And that's why I said a lot of people have made a lot of money off of PBC fights. And if you know that, you want to preserve the sport of boxing. How can you call yourself a boxing fan and you're not even preserving the thing that you are talking about? You're talking against it. Like, that's just the dumbest thing you could ever do, man.
Yeah. As a young man, if I was a kid still, I would say I missed the Don King era. But as a grown man and knowing how businesses ran, Don King era was horrible. Just as horrible as Bob Arum.
Yep.
Because, yeah, he made some good fights. Those guys didn't get paid nothing, man. A lot of them guys died broke, man.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't even entertain the comments, it's actually more horrible because of who he is. You know, he's a brother doing this to his own brothers, man. Don King is the actual opposite, the quintessential opposite of what Al Heyman is. As a matter of fact, that's what y'all need to do. Look at the Don King route and how many people's lives have been destroyed. How the Mike Tysons of the world, if they ever see Don King on the street, this is what they want to do to him versus Al Heyman's of the world. And if Al Heyman has PBC running the way it's running, you see a completely different polar opposite mindset. You see black fighters having control and power in their hands to do what they feel. Now, what they do with the control and power, that's up to them. If they want to be like Adrian Broner and waste the money away and, showcase, like they're having sex with a woman, you know what I'm saying, in front of everybody so people can see the person's whole body. If they want to do that dumb stuff, they want to go blow the money in the supermarket, they have that route to do it. Or if they want to turn around and be like Errol Spence and just fight your fights, build your name up, you can do it like that too. Or what? The Don King route, where you got Roy Jones Jr. talking about how he was bankrupt, how he lost a lot of money. Mike Tyson, how he lost a lot of money. You know how many people are talking about this? Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali ended up rich, but Muhammad Ali lost a lot of money under Don King.
Yeah.
So do we really want to revisit that? To me, that's like a dark a dark
Muhammad
color
Ali
in the sport.
he supposed to be getting paid like Floyd was getting paid. Matter of fact, Muhammad Ali, because money was worth more back then. Muhammad Ali was supposed to be getting paid more than Floyd was getting paid.
There you have it. Well, there you have it. If that's
Mike
the
Tyson,
case,
Mike
if that's
Tyson,
the case, he was robbed.
Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson were supposed to be billionaires. Their gates were ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Their gates were ridiculous. And back then, in Muhammad Ali, they weren't even on pay per view. They got paid off of just sheer volume of people watching.
Yep.
There used to be people all over the world watching Muhammad Ali fights, listening to it on the radio. They get paid off all those statistics.
And you want to know why I'm mad at? You want to know why I'm mad at Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua? They let Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk steal their thunder because so what if they lose against each other, right? They both, to a certain degree, allowed their egos to get in the way. So what if they lost to each other? It would have been a great black heavyweight losing to a great black heavyweight. It wouldn't have been no great white hypes added into the equation. So them not profiting off of the buildup of what their fight could have been, because their fight had a moment where it was built up to be the biggest thing in the sport. They missed that time.
Low key, I gotta blame that on Anthony Joshua, because for a long time Deontay Wilder held the WBC belt, and guys either were ducking him or they all of a sudden they were hurt, or I can't fight, I'm hurt, or they was popping on PEDs. Like the big fights, Povetkin popped on PEDs, right? All of a sudden, when it was time for Tyson Fury to fight Deontay Wilder back when he was younger, he quit boxing and talked about he gonna kill himself and shit. Like, so, and then what's the name? He wasn't fighting nobody either. So I can't really put that on him because I think Deontay Wilder is game. I think it was them guys, man.
I'm not saying that Deontay Wilder wasn't game. I don't think Deontay Wilder was not game to fight Anthony Joshua.
You just saying
I would say most of the blame goes to Anthony Joshua. I could agree with you on that. But I think Deontay Wilder gets some blame because all Deontay Wilder had to do in the scenario was push the agenda and put his foot on the pedal. If he would have put his foot on the pedal and be like, even when they threw the Tyson Fury fight his way, if he would have been like, nah, if I don't get the Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder had that much power as a heavyweight because he was a transcending heavyweight. If he said, nah, I don't want the Tyson Fury fight. This is the fight that I want. If I don't get this fight, I ain't fighting no more fights. You know what? That would have forced the hands of the powers that be that say, okay, fuck it. We got to make this fight happen.
Yep.
But he didn't do that. That's where I lend the responsibility. Because let me tell you something. If those two guys fought, regardless who won, who lost, we as black fight fans win because it would have been two black great heavyweights going at it. And there wouldn't have been this inclusion of where you would have had great white hypes coming in, stealing their thunder. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And in that case, not in that case, but in that instance, I'm kind of disappointed with Deontay Wilder because you should be assertive in what you want all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just when you get upset. Like, you shouldn't have to get upset to become assertive. You know what I mean? Yep. Assertive. If you being assertive offends somebody, they need to toughen up because you're not doing anything wrong. You're just naming what you want, what you're not going to settle for, and you shooting for it. How can I offend somebody? They get offended. That's an issue with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm disappointed in him in that sense. And another person I'm disappointed in, because like me, I'm not a blind follower of nobody. I'm disappointed in Kanye because there's a better way to garner attention for your clothing line. I know what it's about, but I'm still disappointed because there's a better way. And to be honest, Kanye not like the regular 40-year-old somebody who raps. He still has a crowd that spans 20 years as senior and 30 years as junior. So
there's an element, Ross, of when sometimes when people cop out, man, and I think honestly, when I look at that situation, I dissect it for what it is. More money, more problems. Biggie has talked about that. And when people get to a certain bracket financially, there's a certain element of they don't want to lose that. And now he's in a billionaire status, and he's a billionaire, and he got Billies, man. I mean, he's probably In America, there's only one guy that I know in America that has more money than him, and that guy's in some kind of tech world or whatever. That guy's worth like 12, 13 billion. But
Right.
if you're talking about in the entertainment world, he is the highest
He's
earning billionaire. And when you
Yeah.
have that kind of status, there is some element of copping out sometimes. And that whole white lives matter, that's a copping out based off
Right.
his status, not because of who he is as an individual. It's because of the status he's achieved at this point. So
Right.
he did. So to me, it's some sucker sellout shit to a certain degree.
Yeah, but it gotta be another way. Because think about it. Me, you, and other stand-up men, I will allow, and I even said this is disappointing, but I won't allow everybody to speak on it, and I'll tell you why. There's some people in the black community that should just stay quiet. Here's why they should stay quiet. Because if you really care that much about Black Lives Matter, then you will live a different way. Right? Certain music I don't listen to. Why? Because Black lives really matter to me. So I don't listen to niggas talking about straight wanton violence. I don't listen to niggas talking about that. Because that's self-destruction. So you can't live a certain way and say Black Lives Matter. You can't champion certain dudes, be all over King Von Dick and all these dudes and be all into the Chicago. Real people dying in Chicago. To be all into Chicago wars and the Jacksonville wars as a black man, but then say Kanye doing this. Truth be told, Kanye need to be called out by the real black men in the community, such as myself and other niggas that stand up motherfuckers that go to work, who hold themselves accountable, who don't aim for the fuck shit. But the majority of niggas, they just fake rage, man.
Yeah, and why even have anything that says white lives matter and then use the colors that you use, because that is a double sellout shit, because the colors, the one is white, the other one is black. I mean, that is just straight sellout to the T, because white lives have always mattered. We know this because when police goes into a white neighborhood as opposed to a black neighborhood, you never see no situation where a white person, they can get away with talking trash to the police officer. They can get away with spitting the police officer. They can get away with putting their hands in the police officer's face. They can get away with talking very, what we would say, abrasive and very threatening. Right. And nothing will happen. You know what the police officer will constantly tell them? Calm down. But you do that, they got their hand on the holster. They're ready to shoot you.
And it's funny you said that, because abstractly, that's what I first thought. Even though I know why he's doing it, at the end of the day, the old Kanye would have did that and would have explained it right away and would have been like, "This is what I'm doing." Because at the end of the day, we know white lives matter, but black lives still don't matter. Because
you know how they say, Ross, some things, even when you have pretense on why you doing it, or some things, even though you're trying to justify why you do it, wrong is wrong. That's just like when Stephen A. Smith was trying to give a justification on domestic violence between a man and a woman's dichotomy. The point that he was making, it's not that he was wrong on the point. It's just he was doing that at the wrong place and the wrong time with a person who was a domestic violence offender. I mean, a person who was a domestic violence victim. Like, it wasn't going to fly.
Right. It wasn't expedient.
Exactly.
Because that point, I don't even think he's making that point. I think he's aware of that point, but I think he just did that just to garner attention for his clothing line. But if he was making that point, you have to make that point more tongue in cheek and more metaphorical, because there's little children and idiots that's just gonna run with the blatant what it says on the surface. And what you're doing now, you just using the energy for your what's the name. And granted, that's what Louis Vuitton do. That's what blah 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 do. But like I said, I don't believe we're supposed to live like them.
He did that. Let's just be honest. He had a situation with Gap, that kind of fell to the wayside. There was a check, man. A lot of times when people do shit, especially people that look like us, you will always find a common line, a common thread of sellout, is because there's some dollar signs there, man. M's, B's, There's some dollar signs that always come with that sellout shit. I don't know what it is
Always.
about us and money, man. Money will bring the sellout out of black people, man. It's almost always like that.
Always, and we justify it by that's the bag. Yeah, it's the bag, but at the same time, me personally, I don't know. I just certain thing I can't do. It's just I was raised different though. Yeah, I knew I was different by all the people I met in the military. I was just raised different. I could have left the military at a way higher rank, but certain shit I just can't do. I wasn't raised to make a spectacle out of my own people.
And the fact that you call Kanye West out on that, I give you all the credit in the world because there are people that are blind followers, man. They're blind. They're just like when Errol Spence was blowing up in weight, drinking, and doing all of this other stuff. I called him out, man. I didn't care, because because you like somebody, you root for them. That doesn't mean that you're blind to the point to where you can't call them out on their bullshit, man. If they do something wrong, you got to tell them. You got to be able to say, "Hey, they did something wrong," because then that speaks volumes to you as well, too. That's a knock on you as well if you're not able to call a spade in that situation.
You got to do it because I don't worship no man. I'm a fan. I love his music. I'm a fan of Jay, and I've been critical of Jay. I love Jay music. I'm never no fan to where I'm not critical of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of Michael Jordan, but I was critical when Michael Jordan said that shit. He said
you should only worship God, and that's why I got on Michael Jordan. You know, a lot of people are giving me kudos for it, but I don't care about people's kudos because a lot of people's kudos could be fake a lot of times.
To be fake.
I was just doing it because it was the right thing to do in that moment. I didn't like that Michael Jordan used his son. And Michael Jordan sometimes can be petty, man, and that's a feminine trait. He used his son to take a
get at Scottie Pippen. Dirty as hell.
That wasn't right, man.
That's not right because you got to think about Scottie Pippen like an uncle to that boy. So basically what Michael Jordan did, I'm laughing to keep from crying. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I laugh at shit because it irritates me. And that's how I deal with being irritated.
I mean, that was the most sinister. Yeah. That speaks to the ugliness of his character. That's the ugly part of Michael Jordan that I don't like. That he's willing to do the most undercurrent thing to prove that he has this edge over you.
Right.
Like, why would you have your son be involved with the person that he called his uncle's wife? Like, first of all, y'all in a different age group. Like, and to me, it's pathetic because you're Michael Jordan's son and you're young. So you mean to tell me this is what you're limited to? Even if your dad was doing it, you mean to tell me you can't go out there and get other types of women? This is what you're relegating yourself to? Come on, man.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Michael Jordan, he in some ways he could be like a kid, man. And think about it, it's like this. It's like this right here. That's equivalent to you having your son that's an age 20-some smash somebody Richie Rich fucking just because you mad at Richie Rich.
Exactly.
That shit petty, man.
It is.
That shit's so petty that I gotta laugh to keep from getting upset, man. And you know, and he need to be called. He need to be called out for that shit. For sure.
I called him out, man. I didn't care. I didn't care what the blowback was. I just didn't like. I don't like wrong is wrong, man. I don't like wrong behavior. I don't care who it is. I don't care how much I support you. If you do something wrong, I'm gonna call you out. When Javante Tank Davis was doing stupid shit that got him in trouble the way he did, I called him out on it. Man, I don't care. You do something wrong, you have to be called out on it. And that right there, that gave Scottie Pippen something. It actually made me feel sorry for Scottie Pippen because it was like, well, damn, like, you had to go that low to really stick it to him? Like, everything else was making sense. Like, okay, you are Batman. He's Robin. When you're keeping it basketball-wise, yeah, Scottie Pippen needs to know his place. But this is not basketball. You've taken it outside of the realm of basketball and you put this into the realm of, well, I want to put my foot on this dude's neck. Listen, there's a level, and I'm the keep the foot on the next guy. But there's a level of keeping your foot on somebody's neck that's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate, man. And sad thing about it is this: in Michael Jordan's eyes, he ain't do nothing wrong because in his eyes they competing.
Yeah.
Because in Michael Jordan's eyes, if Scottie Pippen was to fuck his girl he was with, he would be like, game on. All right, now I'm finna do something else. Like, it's no stopping with this nigga. You know what I'm saying?
What Jordan did in that situation, when I was younger, I used to have those, and I admit that in my 20s and 30s, I'm a 40-year-old man, so I think shit differently now, and I've gone through some life experiences. I'm more sublime with a lot of things these days, but man, if anyone knows me, me and Jordan are very similar. So I've done a lot of shit that he's done. And Ross knows it behind the scenes. I've done a lot of shit just to compete. I've done a lot of underhanded shit just for that. So I can understand where that mind goes when he does it. But there's a place. Thank goodness I was able, at a younger age to get over it. Jordan has never gotten over that shit. And that's dangerous if you never get over that, because what that does is it makes you become, it's like you aging backwards. It's like an immature thing, because you, just for the element of competing, you're willing to do anything and everything. And sometimes it just makes you, it dumbifies you. It actually makes you stupider.
Low
Because
key,
you're using everything as an element of competition, and everything's not meant to compete with, man.
low key, what he did, he brought himself down to Scottie Pippen's level as a man, not as a ball player, but as a man. I'll say,
I think he actually brought himself down, and you're gonna be like, damn, this is the ultimate Jordan fan in this. I think he brought himself down even lower than Scottie Pippen, and now it made me look at Scottie Pippen in higher regard and see that some of what Scottie Pippen was saying about Jordan is true.
that's what I was trying to tell you, man. While I was a little nigga, Scottie Pippen had to check Jordan. He's like, you can't talk to them little kids like that. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's just ridiculous, man. That's just ridiculous.
But anyway, the reason why I say that is because you were always the alpha. You was always the even though you went through your fair share of criticism, but let's be honest, majority of the people adored Jordan, right? You had this hate, but majority adored him. Scotty was the one that people was always saying, if it wasn't for Jordan, blase, blase, he's supposed to have a little resentment towards you, right? Because he know he was skilled in his own right. He wasn't you. He wasn't you. But if they would have put the right team around him, he could at least won one. You know what I'm saying? He could have.
And that in of itself was more than enough for Scottie Pippen to be satisfied. I mean, for Jordan to be satisfied that that element is a keeping the foot on the neck. The fact that Scottie Pippen is not viewed in the same light, the fact that Scottie Pippen is not viewed in the same arena, the fact that Scottie Pippen is not viewed in the same way as you are, that's enough to do that. But then to take that, then to take that, and then to add another element to it past that, and to make it way more worse than what it is, or way more condescending than what it is. I mean, to me, at that point, it was just like, okay, enough is enough, man. Are you gonna be mature about this, or are you gonna take this and go low with it? And that's what he did. He went low, and then you guys have to understand. I know that sinister mind because I've been sinister like that. That he had his son in a camera, and he was putting his arms around his son, and they were smiling. You got to know that sinister mind.
The sad thing is this sad.
And to me, when I saw that, Ross, I cringed, man. I was upset. I was actually disappointed.
Right, this is sad because I know there's pictures out there somewhere where Jordan embracing his. There's a lot of pictures of him embracing his kids when they was babies, but I know there's pictures out there somewhere with him embracing his sons as they're grown. But I ain't never seen them. This is the first time I see you embrace your son after he done did some low down goofy shit.
Because it wasn't an authentic embrace with the son. It was to stick it to Scottie Pippen. Let's be honest. He's actually, if you really want to know Jordan's real opinion about his children, the only child that he's proud of is his daughter, because his daughter's making moves. Right. You know, she's under the Jordan brand. She's been able to build up the female element of the Jordan brand, but his sons have been continual failures. If we're being honest here, Jordan's had to carry them. Through their issues that they've had over and over and over again. So when you see him have his son out there and he's hugging his son, it's not because he's proud of his son. He's hugging his son because he wants to stick it to Scottie Pippen, and that's some low down shit.
That's some low down shit because in that moment, his son doing that diabolical shit is the first time he ever made him proud.
And you know why? You know why his son made him proud? Because Jordan is so self-absorbed. He saw himself in his son. That's what it was.
He said, yeah. He said, man, you are my son.
Yep.
I had reservations about you this whole time.
Yep.
I know Jimmy Butler. That's my kid. I know that.
And that's what that was. The reservation was in that. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. When you see people do diabolical stuff like that, or they have that diabolical mindset, it's because of those types of things. And that's why I did not respect Michael Jordan in that instance, man. I didn't respect the way he moved. Like, it was just bad. Believe it or not, Floyd has a lot of his Michael Jordan tendencies too.
Floyd has that in him too.
He has that. It's not as excessive or as extreme, but there's moments when Floyd wants to exercise his muscle to show that he is the guy in boxing, and sometimes that can be irritating. And then sometimes he'll do it at the expense of even going against Errol Spence. And I don't like that. Now I call his ass out on that shit when he does.
That's the only time I don't like it, because Errol Spence don't deserve that. The
Exactly.
other guys, I ain't gonna lie. Devin Haney be deserving it.
Yep.
AB
deserves it more than anybody.
AB be deserving it, and Javante Tank Davis, wherever he get online, he be deserving it.
Yep.
And 50 Cent be disrespectful, so he deserves everything coming to him. But Errol Spence don't be deserving that, because Errol Spence actually got love for Floyd.
He's been nothing but just respectful to him. Jordan did that with Kobe Bryant. But what I like about Kobe and Errol Spence, they know Floyd and Jordan know they can't pull that one on those guys, because those guys will embarrass them. Like Kobe was on what's the name of that dude? He was the one that took over for Jay Letterman. I forgot the dude's name, but Kobe was on his talk show saying Jordan competes for everything to the point to where it's just stupid.
Right.
And he said it straight up like that, to the point to where it's just stupid. So they'll pass them in games. Like Earl said, listen, man, Floyd, I'm not gonna beat him mentally. And that was Earl's way of getting back at him. But I'm gonna punish him to the point to where I don't care what willpower he has, he's gonna be standing right there punished, beat up physically. His body's not gonna be able to continue. And Floyd knew he couldn't come back with that, because so what? You gonna call Earl out, and we know you past your prime, and Earl is doing what he's doing now? Come on, man. You know you don't want that kind of beating. So Earl knew what he did when he said that.
And I ain't had no problems. The reason why I had no problems with Earl saying that, because number one, what the fuck he supposed to say? Floyd go whoop me? Can't say that. And then number two, now if you know real boxer, you can't say no goofy shit like that. And then number two, up until that point, Errol has said nothing of the sort.
Exactly. But
Floyd, because his ego so big, he be letting on people gaslight him into saying shit. Because you got to understand. Remember, Floyd's initial was always a promotion of Spence, a genuine promotion, a smile, a genuine happiness when he sings Spence. But he started letting him get in his ear. And Spence is coming for your legacy. Spence is blase. Floyd, you have to get out of the arrogance. Arrogance and confidence is not the same thing. You got to get out of arrogance and stand in your confidence and know no matter what Spence do, that your shit set in stone. Yeah, and when your time is your time, and once the next person's time is the next, that's what sports is about. It's always going to be another person's time. Like after Errol Spence, it's going to be another person's time. This is Errol Spence's time to dominate, and he's going to dominate. But even if Errol Spence do all type of shit, people always going to remember you, Floyd. So you don't have to do this. You one of the bosses that don't have to do this. Yep. People always gonna say, man, that Floyd was a bad motherfucker. I'm glad we got Errol now. Like Errol, he doing this thing, he knocking these motherfuckers out. It's never gonna be, man, Floyd wasn't shit. We got Errol because he did too much in boxing. So he one of them niggas that goes, he not gonna be forgotten. Like Keith Thurman gonna be forgotten. Exactly. Sean Porter, they not gonna, white people not gonna let Sean Porter be forgotten because he one of them mentally. But and he fought everybody. That's another thing. He helped himself by fighting everybody. But Crawford one day gonna be forgotten, believe it or not. Yep. And the reason why, all Bud got to do is get washed by Spence. Once he gets washed by Spence, he's gonna be forgotten because everybody's gonna know that. Because you gotta understand what Spence did. Spence coined the term "smoke and mirrors." That was perfect coined terminology. That was perfect business
one-on-one right there. Because once he beats him, that's what everybody's gonna remember Terence Crawford as, smoke and mirror. That
Voila,
they're gonna remember him.
voila, magic. This nigga career was magic. Do
Yep.
you believe in magic? That's that nigga career. Him and Canelo.
and you know why Terence Crawford is ducking and stalling? Because Terence Crawford knows that Errol Spence is coming for that smoke and mirrors tag. He knows it.
Oh,
He knows. He ain't stupid. That's why you see he keep bringing up his resume. When you see somebody doing that, it's because they know something. That means that whatever they bring it up is going to get challenged.
right. And the resume not even fire.
Nope.
What you bringing up?
Nope.
And Bob Arum didn't even let you. Bob Arum didn't even let you. Didn't even let you substantiate your resume, bring it a full circle with a win over Pacquiao.
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you like this, Ross. Bob Arum was gonna feed Terence Crawford to the wolves. I believe Terence Crawford had his Black Canelo Alvarez moment. He knew he was getting feed to the wolves, and because the way he left, Terence Crawford is the reason why I know this to be true. He was
did the same
loyal.
thing.
He was a loyalist top ranker. You know how we
Right.
know he was loyal to top rank. He
Right.
even disrespected his own sister when she was talking bad about Bob Arum, and still fought under him. So how he all of a sudden go away from that to just leaving? It's because Bob Arum was like, "Yo, you need to fight Errol Spence, and I need to make this money off of you." And once that happened, okay, now I'm gonna say race card and all that. Y'all got to see this shit for what it is, man.
Right. Right.
Because Bob's like, "Yo, I need to make my money off of you, man. I haven't been making my money off of you, so I'm about to feed you to this shark."
And you know what? And Crawford a bitch ass nigga for that. But that go to show you Crawford smart in all the wrong ways. He's smart in all the wrong ways because he knew at the end of the day, if I want to duck somebody, I could always use this card. Everybody know Bob Arum a dirty motherfucker. But think about it, you knew that for you went over there.
Exactly.
You dumb ass nigga.
It worked conveniently for him because it worked at a time where he knew that, hey, this is a fight that I don't want to. Because you got to understand, in Terence Crawford's mind, there's two things going on. Do I keep this charade that I am really smoking mirrors behind closed door? But since I have because you got to understand, he's loving the fact that he has a fan base and a bunch of apologizers that's apologizing for him. That is contagious. Does he want to lose that overnight just by fighting Spence? Because he fights Spence, even all of those same guys are going to have to run away from him.
Yeah, they're going to leave him.
They're going to run away from him. And once they run away from him, they're not going to want to deal with him anymore. And then they're going to be like, man, damn, we was rooting for. Because let me tell you something about fight fans. Fight fans will get mad when they was rooting for somebody for so long.
And you get washed?
And then you get washed like that?
Because this is what I give fight fans. If you go out on this is the reason why Deontay Wilder, no matter how many times he loses, he always gonna have a fan base. He always go out on his shield. And he always gonna fight. He gonna fight to the bitter end like a fucking lion, like an animal.
Well, that's why I said in those Tyson Fury losses, even though he got lynched 2 out of 3 times, whether if it was cheating or not, but he ended up on his shield. I don't see Terence Crawford ending on his shield. What I see is Terence Crawford's gonna heel over. His head is gonna be on the canvas, and then his feet are gonna be in the air. He's gonna heel over. That's what I see. They're gonna have to grab a stretcher and roll this dude out of the ring, because you gotta understand, a guy like Spence, you don't want to make a guy like Spence mad, and you don't want him to constantly get more and more mad, because this guy, he uses everything as motivation. He hears all the people saying he can't box on the level of Terence Crawford. He hears all of that. That's why he beat Mikey Garcia the way he beat Mikey Garcia and punished him, because of all of that shit. Sugar Ray Leonard disrespecting him, saying, I'm picking Mikey Garcia because of Mikey Garcia. And then at the end of that fight, Spence beat up Mikey Garcia so bad, he was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. The way that Errol Spence put a beating on, he makes people testify. They gotta force themselves to testify. At the end of that fight, he was like, the way Errol Spence beat Mikey Garcia, he is special. That boy was gonna make you testify, man. There's gonna be Bud Man fans at the end of this fight that's gonna come out and say, man, you know, all this criticism I said about Errol Spence, I ain't gonna lie, he is the truth. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it.
Yeah, you
Because sometimes you just gotta admit what you gotta admit, man. You can't run away from it.
But he knows Errol Spence, and this is why Errol Spence gonna be big because when you polarize it, you're more bigger than someone who's universally loved. You want to know why? Because everybody talks about you, not just the people who love you.
That's
people
true.
who hate you always talk about you too. So this was gonna happen. Half those motherfuckers, they're gonna have to bend the knee. They're gonna be real. I'm not gonna make fun of the people who bend the knee. I ain't gonna make fun of them because it take a lot to bend the knee. I'm only gonna
I'm gonna give them credit for doing
I'm gonna make fun of the people who move the goalposts. You're gonna have motherfuckers who gonna bend the knee and gonna say, you know what, Errol Spence, he is the heir apparent. Yep. Then you're gonna have motherfuckers gonna say, yeah, but he ain't gonna do that at 154.
I don't even care about those because that's
I don't. No.
The ones that I care about is the ones that don't say Terence Crawford is too old. That's the ones I'm coming for. I'm coming for their head. The ones that's gonna say, well, he fought Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford too old. That's that Manny Pacquiao shit. I'm coming for their head. I'm coming for their head, man.
As soon as they do that, I'm gonna make a meme with Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. I'll be like, Floyd wasn't too old.
Yep.
Floyd wasn't too old.
Because we know that's coming. That too old one, we know that one's coming, man. Like you know, you've been around these idiots long enough, you know what's coming. And they're gonna say, man, he was kind of pushing the fight until Crawford was too old. Well, let's just be honest, Crawford was too old. No, we don't want to hear that shit. What we know is Crawford his ass was on the canvas. That's what we know.
Too old, too big. So some of these motherfuckers are gonna have all the excuses in the world, and some of these motherfuckers is gonna come out and just say it. Yep, man. Errol Spence is that dude, man.
I'm just waiting for the fight date. Once I know what the fight date is, this is not one of those where I gotta watch it on TV, man. I have to be there, man, because I want to hear the shit. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I want to hear it. I want to be the one laughing. I want to be there, man, so I can laugh. Because I'm going in there confident, man. I'm going in there strutting. Like, I just know Spence gonna win this fight. Like, I want to strut in there, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to go in there half-hearted, go in there, lollygagging. Nah, I want to go in there comfortable, man, being like, and if you end up being there, that'll be the first time we're in the same place together in person. I think that would be epic in of itself, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic. All I gotta do is make sure I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I gotta make sure I secure my veteran ID, my retired veteran ID, because there's so many discounts and shit as a veteran.
Yep, you gotta take advantage of that.
And think about it, even though my homeboy he gambled all the time, so we had a lot of discounts. The veteran discount was even better than that. Yep. We was only spending like $50-$60 for a room. I could have been spending $25-$35 for a whole suite.
Exactly.
I didn't have my motherfucking car. I was too thirsty to get to Vegas. I didn't even take care of my business.
You gotta have your veteran stuff, man. You gotta have it together, man. I got my veteran card. Mine don't expire till 2029, man.
I know you got some shit, man. You want those cross your eyes, dot all your T's, motherfuckers.
I'll show that shit everywhere, man.
I am too, but it's like I got two sides of me. I'm a wing it type of nigga, and if when shit hit the fan, I'm very analytic.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't always use my veteran. I didn't always use it. And my ex-wife, she was like, "Yo, why don't you always just use this shit?" So now I just use it 1,000% of the time. Because sometimes I just forgot.
Because you save money.
And yeah, sometimes I just forgot, but then I'm like, you know what? I need to use this shit. So I use it 1,000% of the times now.
Yeah, but people like us, it's like we got to remember because we got the mindset, man. I worked hard, so I got money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We got to remember, like, oh, I got a benefit. Let me use this benefit. Say this
exactly, and it saves you. It saves you a huge amount, man. Discount wise and everything. Like you're really saving. So I use it everywhere, man. I go on base to the commissary, so because the commissary prices are cheaper if I want to buy groceries. Man, I go on base and get that shit, man. It's cheaper.
Man,
my vegetables are cheaper. My vegetables are cheaper. Everything's cheaper. I just go on there. It ain't nothing to me.
Well, hopefully they make the fight for late November, early December, because I got a lot of money in my savings and shit. So I ain't working yet, so I could pick up and go.
Yeah. Yeah, and my schedule is a whole lot more flexible these days. So, man, I'm just waiting for them to just tell me when this fight is gonna happen. And once I know when it happens, then boom, I'm there. Like I am there because I'm gonna be there confidently. And what we can do is low key because ain't nobody checking for no damn smartphones. We don't need to be talking, but we can low key just have the interaction going on where there people are listening to me and you live talking shit, and we just live. We can low key do that shit. Because I saw a lot of people low key doing that shit. When I was there for the Udenis Fugas and the Manny Pacquiao, we could low key do that, and we'll be good to go. That'll be our moment of live. We're not showing you the actual fight. We gotta just listening to me and Ross chop it up. And I think everybody will be game to want to listen to us because I'm gonna be there just laughing my butt off, man, chopping it up about the fight and just basically giving an assessment that, oh, look at Spence hit him with the rib shot in this round. Spence hit him with this. Spence hit him with that. And then once Terence Crawford go down, y'all gonna hear me say Tim Bird.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man, and be done with it, man. That's what I want, man. I just want to go and enjoy the moment, be in the ambiance, and just watch Terence Crawford realize he never belonged in the ring with this guy. And I'm confidently saying that now. I'm gonna confidently say it come fight night. I ain't gonna have no nervous jitters because, like I said, this is the easiest fight to me that Errol Spence is fighting in years. And then I'm gonna be waiting. I'm actually rushing for the aftermath because I know what the aftermath is gonna be. I want to see the shock look on Bo Mac's face. I want to see the shock look on the Bud Man fans. I want to see the shock look on the internet. I want to see how people are gonna. This is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see a delay of people rushing to do content because their affinity is for Bud. So they're gonna hesitate. They don't know. They're not gonna know how fast they could just quickly say, "Man, Errol Spence dominated this guy. He eradicated this guy. He shattered this." They're not gonna be so quick to say that. So you're gonna see a delay, and that's when me and you gonna be able to take the advantage because we're pro Spence. So you're gonna be hearing from us all day, every day.
Yep.
And that's the thing that people don't understand. When you pro somebody and then they win, you have the upper leg. Because you don't have to wait. You don't have to conjure up. You don't have to try to figure out how you're gonna dance around this. No, you're gonna have to tell it. And when Terence Crawford loses the way he's supposed to lose, people gonna have to eat some crow, man. It's gonna be nice to see some people say, man, you know, I didn't want to say this about Errol Spence. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the people. I'm gonna give those people credit. I didn't want to say this, man. I was hating on Errol Spence, but man, I have to admit he is the truth. I need some people to say that shit because it's time. It's time to say that. It's finally time. The disrespect has to stop.
For sure. Who is Slime Season 2? Oh, is that dude? Is that one dude they used to have like the strobe lights and shit?
I don't know. Maybe I think.
You talking about drop the link? I guess
we don't drop links over here, man.
Yeah, I guess you want to come in here and save Bud, but he can do that in the comments if you want to save Bud. But
yeah, man, you can light up the comment section, but I don't drop links, man.
My thing is, yeah, because we used to do that. The motherfuckers used to get beside themselves, so that's over with.
Exactly.
Yeah. My thing is, I'm a man for good debate, but when debate starts taking a turn for just an argument, is when motherfuckers is pushing rhetoric and they're not pushing no facts, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say, you know what, I got an affinity for Bud. He's an underdog. I just want to see the underdog win. Cool. I understand that. But when you look me in my eye and tell me Bud superior to the Errol Spence, I don't understand that, man.
I don't understand. That's just a narrative. That's a narrative because you don't have nothing you're standing on. You just saying it.
Well, you just talking. He don't have no hardware that say that. They fight.
You don't have no opponents. You don't have nothing.
They fight at 147, man. Errol Spence got all the hardware, man. So exactly. How you better? Those are tangible things that we could quantify. 3 is better than 1. What MJ said about Kobe?
5 beats 1, man.
5 beats 1,
and 5 beats 4.
Right.
Especially the four that LeBron won.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, low key, LeBron 4. Let's be honest, man. LeBron 4 is like it's like side to side with Steph Curry 4, but they 4 is underneath KD 2
Thank you.
KD
and
2
Kawhi too.
and Kawhi Leonard 2.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that, man. I'm glad that's on wax. Because one I'm gonna record. I'm gonna record that one to do a little quick shorts on. Glad you said that.
Reason why I said that is because they was the bona fide man on their team.
Yep.
When the shit hit the fan, Steph Curry was looking for KD. That bailed us out, man.
Twice. Even the second time when KD was like, "Yo, go ahead and get this Finals MVP because I pretty much put it in your hands." Stephen Curry still couldn't do it, so KD had to come back in and say, "Okay, let me just do it for you."
Hap, yow, right in his face. And we ain't gonna talk about Kawhi Leonard.
Yep. Why you think Stephen Curry? When they asked him with this whole KD stuff, when this whole thing in the offseason with Boston, yeah, I'll welcome him back, man. Yeah. Bring him back. Good.
Because they're gonna be unstoppable if he come back. Kawhi Leonard, you gotta get Kawhi Leonard love, man.
Yep.
This way you gotta get Kawhi Leonard love. Because people don't understand what the people like, well, Tim Duncan got fired, Kobe got fired. Tim Duncan got fired because of who? They started bringing young boys in. They brought Kawhi Leonard in there, man.
At first he had Tony Parker.
Yeah.
And Tony Parker did it to LeBron. Then he had Manu Ginobili. Going into there. And then he had Kawhi. And then he had Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard was putting the defense on LeBron. So he's always had that. Kobe just carried. So Kobe's 5 is just another weight level.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then Kawhi Leonard did something else. He brought the first championship to a franchise. That's different.
Yeah, he went to Toronto. Toronto wins one championship every 100 years. He went there and won a title in a franchise that wins a title once every 100 years. So that in of itself put him in special rarefied company. If you look at it, who's the 2 most polarizing basketball figures in the league? Who they always got to say something bad about? It's either KD or Kawhi, man.
The ones, whoever opposed they Golden Boys is going to be the ones that they trying to tear up.
Exactly.
Lamar Jackson opposed. It was Patrick Mahomes was their Golden Boy until Patrick Mahomes started speaking out on racism. Now they on Josh Allen did. So now
why you think I want KD to win so bad in Brooklyn? Because once he wins in Brooklyn, that win is going to mean way more. The weight of that is going to crush LeBron's legacy, man. It's going to crumble Stephen Curry. Because of how he won that shit. It's going to crumble them. And don't let him get a back-to-back in Brooklyn. That shit will crumble. The fact that he was able to get 2 wins in a Brooklyn situation where it was more of a traditional way on how you build a team as opposed to the way LeBron was winning, and he won in a Mickey Mouse situation, and the way Stephen Curry won. And people don't even realize Stephen Curry's latest win was an assist from Kevin Durant because Bob Myers begged Kevin Durant, "Hey, can you do a sign and trade?" Kevin Durant could have been an unrestricted free agent. Right. If Kevin Durant became an unrestricted free agent, guess what? The Golden State Warriors don't get Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. So Kevin Durant was the gift that kept on giving because Bob Myers told Kevin Durant, "Hey, if you do the sign and trade, I can go out there and get quality players." And Kevin Durant blessed the Golden State Warriors, and they were able to get Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. So that ring belongs to Kevin Durant on top of that again.
Right.
And people don't even realize that. So he's the gift that keeps on giving, man. So 3 out of 4 of Stephen Curry's rings belong to KD, man. That's crazy. But people don't see it like that.
They don't, man. They don't want to see it like that because people don't like to be uncomfortable. Fantasy is like just sliding in the most comfortable bed, and you got the most comfortable comforter. You got 1,000 thread sheets.
Yep.
And it's luxury. That's fantasy. The real world is sometimes you sleep on the floor.
Yep.
Sometimes you gotta sleep on the floor, man. Sometimes you gotta sleep without a pillow. Sometimes you ain't comfortable, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. The truth it's like you sleeping with a stone for a pillow, and you
The
got to
truth
deal with
hurts, man. The truth hurts, but the truth will
it.
set you free. And those whom the truth set free are free indeed. And that's why Paul Pierce, another guy who was the truth, that guy has single-handedly Rambling LeBron James too. And that's a whole nother conversation in of itself. But that's why I laugh when I look at people who most people gravitate towards and the people that are polarizing that people really don't gravitate towards, because at the end of the day, reality always wins out. It doesn't matter how long reality takes, it's always gonna win out, man.
Right.
Whether you want to accept it or not, it's gonna win out. So in the record books, whenever Terence Crawford stops ducking and stops stalling, stops tucking his tail and actually steps into the fight with Errol Spence, the record books will show that Terence Crawford got washed by Errol Spence, man. And I can't wait until the dust settles on that. Because once the dust settles on that, that's something you can't argue against. That's what I love about facts. You can't argue against facts because it actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way Floyd Mayweather washed Manny Pacquiao. Every time people bring up Manny Pacquiao, we just bring up Mayweather versus Pacquiao. People get mad. They say, well, Floyd was running, but guess what? He washed them.
Yep.
That's what I love about it. The end result, man. The end result. That's it.
It's called boxing. When people start saying that, I realize everything else coming out their mouth, they ain't even worth paying attention to. If you don't know that boxing is evading, getting punched in your head, so you can land punches at this point, then you're not even worth even entertaining.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's it, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Anything else you gotta say, man?
That's all I gotta say, man.
All right, this live was real. Once again, we could tell the streets. Me and Ross have a very good temperature on the streets, man. We could tell the streets was hurting. Damn, they looked like the streets was dying.
Yeah, man.
If I'm gonna be honest with y'all, damn, they're dying. So we came back to resuscitate, to give y'all life, man. Because when the streets are dying, that means y'all gonna be dying too, because y'all gonna believe whatever the streets are telling y'all.
Right, the drought, the drought, like Lil Wayne.
Yeah, our drought was the equivalent of when Errol Spence had the car crash. Y'all had Terence Crawford that was out there, instead of fighting Manny Pacquiao and fighting all these people, he's sitting there with tucking his tail, chihuahua barking left and right. Nothing is happening, and then Errol Spence comes back, and then everything comes back. It took for Spence to come back for everything to come back. So it really took for us to come back for everything to come back. Because let me tell you something, man. Whatever y'all listening to, it ain't adding up.
Motherfucker fighting Mean Green. They had to go find dude, dig him up. I don't see. It's just a hatred for Errol Spence, because when he fought Mean Green. He had everybody at his disposal. They were Sean Porter was his mandatory. Danny Garcia was the number one contender, because he was
almost ducking that Sean Porter fight. That was embarrassing, man.
He did duck it. He ducked it all the way until Sean Porter was his mandatory 2 years before he actually fought Sean Porter. 2 years. Exactly. Danny Garcia, he still ain't fought Danny Garcia.
Nope.
He ain't want to fight.
Because all Danny Garcia had to hit him with was that no look left hook. If he would have hit him with that, I'm telling you, Crawford would have got knocked out, man.
Danny Garcia already beat Crawford in the amateur. That's why he ain't no smoke.
That no look left hook would have knocked him out. And he ducked Dennis Ugas. Dennis Ugas was calling him out. Could you imagine Dennis Ugas beating him right after Dennis Ugas beat up Manny Pacquiao? Come on, man. That would have been bad.
This is going to show you how strong the sports media narratives are. They had niggas calling Floyd a duck, and he fought everybody. But for some reason they got Terence Crawford. They got Terence Crawford like he fight everybody. Yes. And he a duck. He hasn't fought nobody at welterweight.
Nobody. He only got 6. This is what people don't understand. He only got 6 fights at welterweight, man. Errol Spence has lived at 147. I mean, this is damn near embarrassing to compare them experience-wise at that weight class. Errol Spence runs laps around Terence Crawford, man. It's not even fun. That's why I said this fight is a wash. If you're really looking at this fight for what it is, Errol Spence got too much experience at that weight class, too much experience at fighting those fighters at that level. That there's no way he's gonna lose this fight, man. No way. No.
Sure.
That dude's losing. He got too much experience. Boxing is a sport where you have to have experience, man. The more experience you have, the more you've been in there, the more you've fought the level of competition, that collects data, man. And that data translates to your abilities. And Errol Spence has been in there with way more higher level opponents than Terence Crawford. That's why I can't see how Terence Crawford's going to win this fight. And don't give me this Terence Crawford's going to throw punches he ain't never. Bullshit. Spencer's seen everything. Just the sparring match with Floyd Mayweather alone has given him everything he needs. Who knows? Who as a boxer is more complete than Mayweather? Who has more ability than Mayweather? I mean, that doesn't even make sense to even talk about that.
There's nothing Crawford going to be able to throw at Errol Spence that he ain't see from Floyd.
Exactly.
And that he ain't see done at the highest level.
Exactly. And that's all I gotta say with that, man. Anything else you want to say before we close out, bro?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right, man. It's been real. Once again, like my boy said, we separated the weak from the strong, and we kept the foot on the necks, and we'll get back on live. When we get back on live, man, we'll tap in again, and we'll talk about this, man. Once the streets get stupid again, just always expect us to be right there to keep everybody honest, man.
Yep. All right, man.
All right, y'all be easy. Peace.
Peace.